Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. It is Thursday, March 6th. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have the Robinhood Bitcoin giveaway at 4:45. So in about an hour, we will play that giveaway live with everybody like we did yesterday. And we'll see if we can be successful there. We've got earnings. Broadcom, very important semiconductor company that is down 45% from its highs. Costco, very important retailer. And Bigbear AI, that is also a name that a lot of people have been thinking about when it comes to the AI space, one of the more speculative small cap names, and we'll see how they perform as well. Now, until we get into the earnings and the Robinhood giveaway, which hopefully are good parts of the stream, we got to get through some of the updates that we have going on right now in terms of the macro. If you've looked at your portfolio today, you might have not wanted to look at it because I think this is the worst day in the past 3 weeks. Because the past 2 weeks of February were pretty volatile. The week currently that we're in, the first trading week of March, has been volatile. This has been the worst day out of all 3 of those weeks. Tesla, 261, down 6%. Palantir is down 10.76%. Now, Palantir, there's a little bit misleading. Palantir probably shouldn't have got to 91 yesterday. I mean, the reason things are down so aggressively today is because they bounced yesterday after hours, and so they kind of got these like artificial levels, and they're coming back down from those levels. But still, down 10% today, not fun. Nvidia's been trying to defend 110. It's 50 cents away from going below 110. We got 15 minutes left. We'll see how the market closes on Nvidia, but Nvidia is down another 5.7%. Apple's down 0.5%. Google's down 1%. Robinhood is down 7%. TLT is not even getting any love because the 10-year is not going down. Bigbear AI before earnings is down 12%. AMD is down 3%. Pretty much everything's down. Alibaba was up 5% during the day. Now it's down 1%. IWM is now almost in correction territory. Macy's is down 2%. S&P 500 down another 2%. I believe 2 days ago it was down about 1.5%. So, I mean, we've seen now a full-on 3 to 4% drop from the S&P year to date and about 6% reduction from all-time highs. Why is all of this happening? Well, we got some updates on tariffs because that's all we talk about on this channel now is tariffs. Trump has officially delayed tariffs again on Canada and Mexico. So this is what Trump tweeted out just at the end of the market open. It was at around 12 p.m. or 11:30 a.m. He talked to the president of Mexico, and he says, I've agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. I did this as an accommodation. Our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working hard together on the border, both in terms of stopping illegal aliens and stopping fentanyl. Now, you would think the market would kind of rally off this news because now that we're not having that much now that we're not having as many tariffs as the market thought, we're still going to have some tariffs, but the majority of them from USMCA for Canada and Mexico and for automotives, obviously, are going to be delayed for a month. That would be a good thing for the stock market. No. I mean, I think what's happening right now in the markets, and this is why that 10-year is spiking up, which is not what we want to see. We need that 10-year to go down if the markets are going to go down as well, in terms of at least the yield on the 10-year, is I don't think the market is trusting what the White House is doing anymore. For those that were on the market open, you guys saw the Howard Lutnick interview, which it seems like many people watched that interview as well, and people are feeling pretty annoyed at how there's a lot of flip-flopping going on in terms of what the administration's stance is on tariffs. I think the market has just had enough. I think the market doesn't care anymore, and now they're not even going up on the good news that tariffs are going to be delayed because they don't know if the tariffs are actually going to be delayed, if they're going to put back on April 2nd. Are we going to come to some agreement? Are we not? No one knows. No one knows, and I think that's the pain that we're seeing currently right now in the market. Trump was currently with reporters just now. We have some videos about what he said. Real quick before we get to those videos, this is one thing that Trump said during the conference that he had today with reporters, and I'm sure it'll be a big surprise to everyone who's been following the markets. Trump said, "I am not even looking at the stock market." And then when asked by reporters, well, why, or do you think the stock market's falling off? He says, the globalists are behind the stock market sell-off. I don't exactly know what that means, but yeah, that's what's happening. Here's Trump live right now. Let's take a listen to what he's saying, and then we'll keep going from there.
I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one who had 3 apps, 2 of which were foreign, supposedly, and who has the biggest white shoe law firm in Pennsylvania, even though they don't live in necessarily a white shoe area. What's that all about? his law, the law firm. The other one had 7 or 6 cell phones, and I don't have 6 cell phones. And
okay, he's not talking about markets. I'll get the exact clip where he talks about the stock market, inflation, the tariffs, etc. Right now, he's going to take questions for an hour about a lot of different things. There's also a delay on that. He already did the press conference, but for the news channels, there's like a 1 hour delay. So we'll get the clips on that in probably about 15, 20 minutes. We got earnings in 10 minutes. But nonetheless, yeah, he thinks that he thinks the globalists are behind the sell-off. I really don't know what that means. I don't think he knows what that means either, but nonetheless, that's what's happening right now. Now, a couple of charts for you guys. The S&P 500 has just fallen below its 200-day moving average for the first time since November 2023. Now, if you remember, the markets bottomed in November 2023, and we went on an epic 2024 run. That 200-day moving average is a very important level for the S&P 500. We just went below it. I think we're slightly above it. It happened like about 20 minutes ago. Right now, we're at 573, but we are basically at those levels. And another piece of news that I think is, I guess you can interpret it as kind of bullish on a day like this. Yesterday, the S&P 500 had its third highest put volume in history of the markets. Yesterday, people bought the most amount, or the third most amount of puts that they've ever bought on the S&P 500. Now, the previous 2 times that this has happened marked the bottom, which is pretty obvious, right? Because most people tend to buy puts or sell like in that type of a velocity when fear and the market has already collapsed and people just want the pain to stop. So then they start getting defensive. That's not the time to get defensive. That's why it's really hard to hedge against the markets. You got to be able to be bearish when everyone's bullish and bullish when everyone's bearish. And so theoretically, you could argue maybe this is a bit of a bottoming of the market given how much put volume is happening, but it really doesn't matter because if we get more news on tariffs that is positive or negative, you just don't know how the markets are going to interpret it. Let's hear from Liz Young, get her thoughts on what's going on, and then we will keep going from there. We got 8 minutes until we get some earnings into the market close.
Right before the election, we highlighted numerous times on this network a piece that Greg Ip of the Wall Street Journal wrote with a headline that said the next president inherits a remarkable economy. On election night, when President Trump won, there was an overwhelming amount of optimism about what was about to happen for this economy and thus the stock market. And here we are, some 40 days in, and we suddenly have an uncertain economy. We suddenly have data that's showing softness. We suddenly have local Fed bureaus that are saying growth is going to fall by more than 2%. What happened? Where do we go from here?
Well, I think what's going on is what's been sort of attacked with a lot of this news is the exact thing that the optimism was based on. The optimism was based on a pro-growth, pro-cyclical, pro-U.S. environment. And now here we are in the midst of a trade war that not only includes China, but other nations that I don't think we all expected it to include and could even get broader reaching as the year drags on into Europe. So now we have growth fears in the U.S. We've got some labor issues in the U.S. that are showing up, as Steve mentioned, in some of this soft data. And we've got concerns over what companies might do. And my biggest concern right now is that the longer this uncertainty goes on, companies do have to adjust the way that they're planning for the year. They either pull back or they hit the pause button. They have to make cost cuts in order to adjust for what might happen down the road. And the longer this drags on, those adjustments continue to get bigger and bigger. They can't all just be reversed.
There was also, this idea that the administration wasn't going to let the stock market get too upset because the president cares about the performance of the market. Second only to his golf score. That's what they joked about, correct? Well, he is speaking in the Oval, as we said, where he did make the announcement, he, the president, of course, which announced that tariffs on Canada and Mexico are going to be paused until April 2nd. He also, a headline moving, I'm not even looking at the stock market, is what the president had to say. Maybe he wants to look away.
What a contrast from 2016, 2017, which was all I do is win. You're going to be sick and tired of winning, to the tone from the administration, which is be prepared for some disruption. We've heard the word pain. We've heard this idea that there's going to be a cost in order to do this rebalancing of the economy that they see as necessary, which means that things like the 10-year yield falling, which allows them to potentially term out the debt. I think Bessent has a big bills problem. That's something that they seem to be caring a lot more about than necessarily where the S&P 500 goes. So this does not seem like an administration that is all too concerned about near-term growth, maybe because if it happens sooner rather than later, a weaker period, they can blame it on Biden policies versus what they're doing today.
Sure, but you know how it goes, right? At some point, every president goes through this. You break it, you own it, right? At some point, something happens, and that's the way that it is depicted. We are getting more headlines out of Washington. Megan Casella has that for us now. Megan.
Here's the quick update on tariffs, and then we will get ready for earnings as we get into the market close.
Hey, Scott, that's right. So we are officially hearing more now about that tariff relief that we had been waiting for. The president is in the Oval Office right now with reporters, and he has now officially signed an executive action that amends those tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And what he's doing here is he is saying that until April 2nd, just until those reciprocal tariffs start to take effect, all goods that are compliant with the USMCA can now trade without facing those new 25% tariffs. But we also had a chance to talk to a White House official about the details of this executive action, and that official said that only about 50% of Mexican imports and about 32% of Canadian imports, 38% of Canadian imports are compliant with USMCA. So that means that everything else remaining, about 50% of goods coming in from Mexico and almost 2/3 of goods coming in from Canada, are continuing to have to face this 25% tariff on most goods, 10% tariff on Canadian energy. So there is some relief there, but it's only temporary because it's only until April 2nd, and it's only on the USMCA compliant goods. Scott, I can also tell you we're getting some wire headlines. The president is continuing to talk right now in the Oval Office about these tariffs. He also says that the steel and aluminum tariffs will not be modified. Those are the ones that have already been signed into law and are set to take effect next Wednesday, March 12th. Those will hit Canada and Mexico. They'll also hit the automotive industry, which only just got some relief. He also says there will not be a USMCA exemption for auto tariffs when they say those will take effect next month. Those are set to be part of the April 2nd round of tariffs as well, Scott. So some official relief now that has officially been signed by the president, but I don't think it's quite to the extent that a lot of people had been hoping for. Scott?
I actually forgot about that. I forgot aluminum and steel tariffs were already in effect. So those are not slowing down. I mean, those are happening as per what Trump said. That definitely will have an impact on the automotive industry. But there was some relief for Mexico and Canada on USMCA products in terms of being delayed by April 2nd. Does the market actually think it's going to get implemented April 2nd? Who knows at this point? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But the steel and aluminum tariffs, which are on Mexico and Canada, those get implemented March 12th, so in about a week. So we still do have tariffs that are coming pretty soon. Palantir right here down 10.2%, Tesla down 5.7%, Apple down 0.22%, Robinhood down 7%, Broadcom still down 6% on the day. It's got earnings coming up. This one could get ugly, dude. Broadcom could get ugly. I think it's been sold off pretty aggressively. I'm happy that it's down going into the print. But if the print has any level of demand weakness, which I don't expect given their print last quarter, or tariff threats in terms of the CEO just saying, hey, we might have some issues with tariffs, like that could affect NVIDIA, that could affect Broadcom, that obviously could affect all the semis, and we're going to have to look out for that. So we got Broadcom today, we got Costco, and we got Bigbear. Those are the ones that we are looking at after the bell. I'll do a quick pump and dump poll right here, or we'll do, which one do you think outperforms at the close? Broadcom, Costco, or Bigbear? I know a lot of you guys are tired of this. Trust me, I'm tired as well. I mean, it's not fun to wake up to all these different headlines. Which one outperforms? But it is what it is, and this is the world we live in. This is what's happening, and I mean, all we can do is react to it. Again, I do think Trump wants to create some volatility in the short term. He quite literally said he's not looking at the stock market. I think they care more about bond yields and a lot of other things, not the markets. And as market participants, we kind of got to take them at their word. And if they say they don't care about the markets, then they don't care about the markets. And as a result, markets might continue to be facing some volatile times until they start caring about the markets. 10 seconds left until this market close. 43% of you said Costco. That doesn't surprise me because Costco is more of a safer name. So we'll see in about 5 minutes how these stocks perform. All right, here we go. Thursday, March 6th, 4 p.m. The stock market is once again closed. All right, markets are closed. Another day, another set of red candlesticks across the board. Tesla down 5.6%. Bitcoin 89,000. That was at 92 in the morning. That's down. S&P 500 is down 1.75% on the day. MSTR was down 1.4%. ASML was down 3.37%. SoFi, I didn't even take a look at how bad SoFi got hit. 7.3%, well below $13. You got Netflix. Wow. No, I don't think anyone saw Netflix, dude. 9% down on Netflix. 906. That's about to go below 900. This was $1,100 after earnings in early January. IWM down another 1.54%. Grab got hit down 5%. JD.com, they were slightly flat on the day. They had some decent earnings up 0.232%. CrowdStrike down another 5%. CrowdStrike now down about 15% for the week. Novo Nordisk was down 3.7%. Let's check it. HIMS. HIMS was down 15%. I didn't look at HIMS throughout the day either, but HIMS got hit. And then NVIDIA ended the day down 5.74% as well. We have money market updates. Put in the chat. What do you think? Increase or decrease? You could put a 1 for an increase, a 2 for a decrease. A 1 means we had more inflows to money market funds. A 2 means we had more outflows of money market funds. I think the answer is kind of predictable if that doesn't give it away. But for those of you who selected 1, you are correct. Another $50 billion have left equities, crypto, real estate, whatever you want to call it, risk-on assets into money market funds. Last week, this was $60 billion. That means $111 billion in the past 2 weeks, past 14 days, have gone into safety. Money market funds, $7.03 trillion is now on the sidelines. And so far, that $7.03 trillion does not care if NVIDIA is well below its 200-day moving average. They want safety. They continue to want safety. It makes sense. I think we kind of expected it based on the volatility we saw last week. So not too much of a surprise, but money is definitely continuing to pile up on the sidelines. We don't have earnings yet. I believe Broadcom is at 405. Same thing with Costco. Costco might be at 410. Bigbear should be pretty soon. So we should get these results probably in like 5 minutes max. At least we should start getting these results. But Broadcom, Costco, Bigbear are going to be the main ones that we are looking at here. The street wants $1.50 on earnings on Broadcom and then $14.59 billion on revenue. And the street wants $4.10 on EPS for Costco and $63 billion for revenue from Costco. Palantir on the day ends down 10.73%. Everything's up a little bit after hours. This is the same playbook every single day. It's like you tank during the day. After hours, you go up 1 or 2%. Maybe overnight, you go up another 1 or 2%. Pre-market, you're up 1 or 2%. You think it's going to be green. And then throughout the day, we deal with all the headlines and stocks continue to fall. So we are seeing more and more pain and volatility every single day as this is playing out. Amit, can we do more mock trivia from now on the channel? Yeah, it was a pretty exciting format. Maybe we're going to do some like mock trivia of maybe I do my own giveaways and we do mock trivia. I got to figure out how to set it up, but it was pretty fun yesterday. So some of you guys mentioned you should do it on your channel as well. Yeah, I think so. It'd be fun. Stock market trivia on our channel. I just got to figure out how to set it up technically, and maybe we can do some giveaways with that. So yeah, I definitely think we'll set that up. And then at 4:45, we will do the Robinhood giveaway and see how that ends up playing out here today. Broadcom's up a little bit after hours. Costco's flat and Bigbear is up 2.6%. We're getting somewhat of a green candle on Bigbear, 2.84%. Street wanted about 50 million from them in revenue, losing about 5 cents a share. Let me see if their numbers are out yet. But Bigbear, we do have a green candle. Again, 42% of you said Costco outperforms out of the 3 names here today. Yeah, no numbers yet right now on Bigbear. Let me pull this up right here. So in terms of Trump speaking, he said a bunch of different things. Here is, so they have their account that's updating a variety of different things from what he said in the Oval Office. He is like currently live now, but not technically live. I'm trying to find the clip where he actually talked about the stock market. I don't know if they have that out yet, but he also mentioned a lot of stuff about the Doge cuts, and he talked about how he wants to see the cuts happen, where he wants to see the cuts happen, and he gave some updates on that as well. Broadcom now up 3% right here. Sorry, not Broadcom. Bigbear is up 3%. Broadcom's up 0.5%. Costco's up basically flat. Costco's flat. Broadcom up about 0.5% right there. Bigbear currently at 3%. Lunar just went flat. Where's Lunar? Lunar, did they have earnings today? Oh my God, Lunar's down 20%. Did these guys have earnings? I didn't know about that. Hold on. Lunar's another space company. They were already down during the day though, right? Yeah, they were down 20% during the day. They're down 22% after hours. That is not good. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Lunar CEOs just said 2 quotes. We don't believe we're in the correct attitude on the surface of the moon yet. We don't believe Athena lander is in the correct position on the moon. They landed sideways on the moon. Yeah, they botched their moon landing. Correct. They botched their moon landing. Well, I mean, that's a speculative name to begin with. If they don't nail the moon landing, that's definitely going to hurt them. Lunar right there down 20. That's down 43% in the past 10 hours. That is aggressive. Bigbear still up 3%. Costco's up 0.7, and then Broadcom right here up 0.53. Currently right now. Space is hard. That is correct. Space is indeed hard. Let's get back to Liz Young. We should get these stock market updates on earnings in just a few minutes, and then we'll keep going from there.
For the part of the economy that all this optimism was built on is under threat, and yields have come down for sure, but not by that much. And a lot of these growth stocks are what's getting attacked as well. And when you look at just the proportion of return that was attributable to multiple expansion versus the proportion that was attributable to earnings, of course, there's fundamental support under many of these stocks, but that multiple expansion is what disappears very quickly. And that's what I think we're seeing right now.
Yeah, financials, Cameron, too. If you look at some of the big pressure points, it's tech, it's banks.
We got HP earnings. We have HP just came out just now. Let's get into HP earnings right here.
2.2% from going.
For storage, networking, and software, the company set to cut a further 2,500 positions, and that'll be over the next 12 to 18 months. As for earnings, the company posting in-line earnings per share with revenues of $7.85 billion, which was a slight beat. The Q1 server revenue coming in a touch higher too at $4.29 billion, but margins are slipping. Big part of the why the stock is dropping now. Margins are coming in at about 29.4% for Q1, down from last year, down from last quarter. I spoke with HPE CEO Antonio Neri, and he told me the drop came from 3 factors. 1, pricing pressure in both AI and traditional server markets. Number 2, the inventory reevaluation that they had, specifically adjustments to their inventory. And number 3, higher than normal AI inventory due to the rapid transition from Hopper to Blackwell GPU chips, something we heard from other players like Supermicro and Dell. And these are found in HPE servers as well. So looking ahead, though, the outlook is also weak. Both Q2 revenue and earnings per share are below estimates.
This does not look good for Broadcom right now, what they're saying.
Neri pointing to tariffs, especially in Mexico, as a major headwind. Stock down almost 12%.
All right, Christina, thank you.
2,500 jobs. That is just adding to the layoffs. For those that missed the jobs report this morning, 175,000 jobs were lost in the month of February. That is more than triple the 49,000 in January. It's the highest since July 2020. So the labor market continuing to get hit, which I think Powell is looking at and probably going to make some decisions on if he's going to cut or not. HPE down 11.8% on this report. I'm hoping Broadcom's oversold enough to get a little bit of a pump, but based on what they just said, it does, particularly around guidance slowing down, which you just can't do that if you're a semiconductor name. That's just not the environment to lower guidance. We're going to have to see kind of how this plays out for Broadcom. Costco's flat. Bigbear still up 4%. I don't have Bigbear's numbers yet. Doesn't look like, yeah, they've not reported yet. So whatever action's happening on Bigbear, it's not, I wouldn't say it's real. I would say it's just algos because there is not a number. At least I don't see any numbers here right now. That's HP, not Broadcom. Correct. That's HP. Broadcom is still, Broadcom should be out in probably a minute, 4:10. If not, then 4:15. So in about 5 minutes, we should get them. It's a big bear market. Yes, that's, dude, see, if I was the Bigbear AI CEO, that's how I would make that joke throughout the call. That's why they don't have me as the CEO. But I would say, Bigbear is surviving this big bear market. I would find a way. But that's why I am not the CEO. Bigbear AI right here up 3%. Serve Robotics, you guys said had earnings today. They were down 4%. Don't have their numbers yet. They're down about 0.5% after hours. Broadcom and Costco are the big ones. Here's the thing. If Costco lowers their guidance aggressively, and if they say tariffs are going to screw us and consumer confidence, we can tell, is going down, I don't know how the market's going to react because Costco is one of the biggest retailers. I mean, if they say that, then I don't know if the market can ignore that. Like, that's just hard for the market to say, oh, it's just Costco. Like, it's not just Costco, it's Costco. Like, if no one's buying the 150 glizzy, then we've got some issues. We've got some issues. Amit, what happens if job data is bad tomorrow? Do we just delete our apps? You know, again, I told you guys, I was talking to Derek yesterday. He's not looking at, like, you guys think I'm joking. He's not opening his brokerage app. He understands his mental health. He's not looking at it. So yeah, to an extent, bro, if non-farm payrolls suck tomorrow and it's a long weekend, or not it's a long weekend, but it's Friday, people might not want to hold stocks over the weekend, you know, general Friday volatility, options expiration. Yeah, I mean, might just want to not look at the phone for a little bit. Arnie said, I'm not opening either. Well, there you go. Even Arnie said, I'm not opening. So yeah, it's going to be, dude, we need a good report tomorrow. And look, here's the benefit of having a bad report. We should be getting Broadcom in a second. Rate cuts, right? We talked about this in depth in the morning. The nuance to all of this happening is even though there is so much pain, the pain means the Fed cuts, which are good for equities. Even if it's for the bad reason, it's still good at the end of the day, net to have rates that are lower, good for mortgage rates, good for bond yields, etc. But the Jay Powell, who is talking tomorrow, he needs to actually like acknowledge that the labor market's weakening and it deserves a cut. If he doesn't, and he's gung-ho on waiting till inflation shows him the necessity to cut, then we are going to be waiting even further for that cut. Oh, by the way, CME Fed Watch Tool now says there is a 50% chance in May. So we are now up to 50% of a chance in May. March is still about a 20% chance. I don't think it's going to happen in March, but May, I do think it is more likely, especially if these job numbers continue to be bad. Okay, so we're still waiting on Bigbear, Costco, and Broadcom. Bigbear again is up 3%. I don't think that's real. There's no real numbers yet, so we're gonna have to see. HP is still down 14%. Serve Robotics down 1%. Where is Nvidia after hours? Nvidia is up a little bit, 110, and then Palantir $80.98. That's up 0.5% as well. Rigetti actually ended the day up 4%. So in a totally, like risk-off environment, Rigetti was up 4%. So, I mean, that's pretty incredible, but that one was green on the day. Broadcom right here up about 0.5% currently right now. Mick, can you please get Jerome Powell on? I'll try to see if he can get on the show and we can talk to him. Okay, so in about a minute, guys, or in about 2 minutes, I think we should get Broadcom. Let's take a look at this for a second, and then we will. Well, actually, let's just we'll go back to Cameron Dawson in about 2 minutes. We should get Broadcom and Costco.
Private equity,
Yeah.
getting hammered.
Yeah, that divergence within financials where you're seeing those asset managers come under a lot of pressure, trading below their 200-day moving averages today, Apollo, Blackstone, all being in somewhat topping formations over the past couple of months and showing signs that maybe under the surface there's some weakness in the higher beta, higher cyclicality portions of the index. And if we look at tech overall, it's still trading at 26 times forward. This is not a washed out valuation for tech yet at this point. And we're trading below the 200-day there. And Chris Verone always says mistakes happen below the 200-day moving average. So watch out for more volatility. We think eventually that volatility is certainly buyable. But at the same time, you've seen this divergence. In the last 4 months, you've been cutting earnings estimates as the stocks have kept going up.
Steve, the obvious reason that, banks have been going down because they're worried about, the economy and rates continuing to go down, albeit today that they're moving up a little bit on the 10-year.
Of people who, one, think it's a buying opportunity, or on the other side feel like that's when you kind of take a jump out of the market if it really breaches it. I would point out too that at the lows today around 2,700, that's a little bit of a slant, but we were just less than 1% above this July peak. That was the real crescendo higher in Mag 7, and this was that pullback we got about 8-9%, and that was associated with the yen carry trade scare. So global capital market stress, or at least fast-moving indicators like the dollar getting kind of slammed today, also German yields flying, is something to keep an eye on, because we were also oversold, as we are right now after 2 weeks of selling, and you had a rally attempt, and then it took that flush lower for the yen carry trade to get us moving again. Anyway, here is a little bit of a capsule of the market-based sentiment. So fear and greed index, this is something maintained by CNN. It's really
all right. Broadcom's out. Broadcom is out. We have Broadcom. It's up 6%. We are green on Broadcom. We are green for now. It's only been 10 seconds. Let's see if it can hold, but we are green. 188, now 191. Now it's up 7%. We've got some greeny green on Broadcom, which is good. Let's see if it holds. I'm putting NVIDIA on the list as well. Let's track NVIDIA at the same time. NVIDIA up 0.5% as well because of Broadcom. The candle's holding, and it's actually expanding. It's almost 8% right now, so it looks encouraging. Costco's down 2%. Costco going the opposite direction, down 2% right here. We're going to get the numbers in just a second and see what we've got, but it looks like there's a beat on the top and the bottom. Broadcom, yep, we got a beat on the top and the bottom. 160 versus 151 EPS, that's a beat. And on revenue, now it's up 4.6%. We got a beat of 14.9 versus 14.59 billion. So not the biggest beats. I mean, good beats, but nothing crazy. I would imagine guidance was good for the market to be reacting this positively on a day like this on Broadcom, up 5.79%. Obviously, it was sold off a lot during the day. So recovering a little bit back to some of those levels. Costco is down 1%. Bigbear is up 2%. Let me check if we have Costco numbers. Broadcom looks decent. Costco, we do not have Costco out yet, but we should be getting that soon. Does anyone have Broadcom? Does anyone have it? Let me know if anyone has Broadcom at all. We also have Samsara earnings. I don't know what that company does. Does anyone know that company? Samsara? IoT. These guys are down 9%. This is a $23 billion company? What does Samsara do? Mr. Green, thanks for the super chat. I'm just seeing it right here. Samsara, you mentioned it. What the heck is Samsara? I've never heard of this. Samsara Inc. Down 10%. It was down 3% during the day. I'll get their numbers in a second. Broadcom still pumping, up 7%. It looks like Costco missed, but we don't have their numbers exactly yet. But we should check in a second as they come out. Let me see if we have the Broadcom numbers right here. Okay, we don't. We have Samsara, though. So let's go to Samsara real quick, and then we'll do Broadcom.
Percent right now.
And meantime, earnings continue to roll in. Costco and Broadcom results have crossed the tape. We're going through them now, but Samsara results already. Seema Modi has them. Seema?
Samsara delivering a 4-cent beat on its bottom line, John. Revenue coming in ahead of consensus at $346 million. The estimate was for $335. I would point out that deferred revenue is a bit lighter than expected. And this is, of course, the company that specializes in fleet operations, real-time GPS, AI-powered dash cams. Let's talk about guidance. It's first quarter earnings per share guidance of 5 to 6 cents versus the estimate of 5. So generally in line with estimates. But as we've seen over the past couple of weeks, John, companies that haven't been able to raise, in some cases, have been punished. And we're looking at the stock down about 10%.
All right, I got Costco. Costco is 402 versus 410. That's a miss on EPS. Costco misses on EPS. Revenue 63.7 versus 63.0. That's a beat on revenue, a miss on EPS. And granted, the stock's not really down, though. It's flat. Broadcom still up 8%. Costco, yeah, that's nothing, dude. Costco's down less than 0.5% right here. I mean, this is kind of a nothing burger. It tanked for a second, for like a quick second, then it came right back. Costco continues to be one of those recession-proof stocks that people buy, trading at a 55 times PE. So obviously people feel much more excited to buy Costco at 55 times than NVIDIA at 23 times or 27 times. And even on a miss on EPS, which is a small miss, but it is a miss, the stock's not getting punished. It looks like they're not getting punished. We'll see on their earnings call. I'll go through that tomorrow on the market open on what they said about the consumer, what they said about tariffs. Costco obviously is affected by both of those things, but so far market doesn't care too much. Broadcom right here is up 8% though. Market likes what Broadcom said. Market likes it. Yes, Robinhood Trivia at 445. We will do Robinhood Trivia at 445. HPE is down 16%. That one's getting hit. NVIDIA's up almost 1% after hours on the Broadcom results. Bigbear, I don't have the numbers yet. It's up 4%, but I still don't have the numbers. Maybe that's a 431. If anyone has the numbers, yeah, no one has the numbers. It's not out. Yeah, Bigbear is not out. It is not out. We are still waiting for Bigbear. Costco won't have that miss without explanation. I agree. I mean, it's obviously something down with their margins that created that EPS miss, and it might be a one-time thing. It might be they traded off margins for volumes type of thing, but the market's going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to get that upset off of a 8-cent EPS miss. Broadcom still up 8%. Let's see if we can get some more information on what they put out. It looks like whatever they said, the street is definitely happy about that. Let's go to their website and see if we can get it. Keep going from there. Broadcom, remember last time they guided really nicely, and that's what got the street excited. All right, here we go. Here are Broadcom numbers. Let's pull this up, and let's go through what we have here right now. Yep, 8%. Broadcom doing very well. Revenue of $14 billion for the first quarter, up 25% year over year. GAAP net income of $5 billion. Adjusted EBITDA of $10 billion. GAAP diluted EPS of $1.14. They did a dividend of 59 cents a share. I didn't even know they had a dividend, but they did. Second quarter fiscal year guidance of $14.9 billion. That's up 19% year over year. So a little bit of a decrease of growth year over year, but I guess the market was expecting that. Nothing too crazy. And overall, they are guiding for 66% adjusted EBITDA guidance going into Q2 for 2025. Broadcom's record first quarter revenue and adjusted EBITDA were both driven by AI semiconductor solutions and infrastructure software. Q1 AI revenue grew 77% year over year to $4.1 billion, and infrastructure software revenue grew 47% year over year to $6.7 billion. We expect continued strength in AI semiconductor revenue of $4.4 billion in Q2 as hyperscaler partners continue to invest in AI XPUs and connectivity solutions for AI data centers. I mean, it's hard to be bearish with 77% year-over-year growth when it comes to their AI revenues. Obviously, that could be priced into the stock when it comes to the valuation, but it's not like they're not growing when it comes to the AI opportunity that they've been pretty aggressively pursuing over the past 2 years, and obviously since last quarter when the stock really exploded. Broadcom now up 8.3%, really getting some love from the street. They seem excited for it. NVIDIA as well, up 1.2%. NVIDIA back to 111. I did buy 10 shares of NVIDIA today, exactly at 111.99. So I'll buy more if we get below 110. Right now, we've been holding 110 very well, but I bought 10 more shares at basically 112 here today. Broadcom up 8.3%. It looks like it wants to go for 10%, dude. It looks like it wants to go there. I mean, it is a nice green candle, and it's not getting faded. Hopefully, they say nothing on the earnings call that can mess with it. Costco's now down 1%. Bigbear is down. Bigbear is down 3%. So it was up 3% for a second. Now it's down. Let's see if there's any numbers on Bigbear. Oh, they missed. Oh, my goodness. That is a hell of a miss. That is a miss. I mean, 43 cents versus 5 cents. That's a pretty aggressive miss right there. It's more than a quintupling of a miss. And then revenue 43 versus 54, 11 million less than expected, and about 37 cents more than expected on their loss per shares. Maybe there's an accounting thing going on with that EPS miss. Or maybe they genuinely don't have the margins to support the analysts' expectations of only losing 5 cents a share. I mean, this is not the biggest company in the world. They don't have a ton of cash, so they probably don't have the best margins either. Again, they're a small company, only $1 billion market cap, down 10% right here. If this continues, they are not going to be $1 billion company tomorrow. They were down 12% already during the day, so that's down 22%. At one point, Bigbear during this year was at $10.36. That was in February 2025, February 13th. They are now down about 70% from that level, 373 on Bigbear. All right. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not that surprising to me. I don't know they would miss that badly, but it's a speculative name, dude. It's a speculative name. This environment is not for speculative names right now. If you really believe in Bigbear AI, obviously you buy this dip and you continue to believe in their AI solutions, their AI government contracts, all that stuff. But if you were in it just for the momentum, sometimes it's okay to take the L and just move on. But this one right here down 13, now down 14% after hours. Bigbear at about 360 currently right now. Let's get the Broadcom update. We got that right here. And then we will keep going from there. We got the Robinhood giveaway in about 25 minutes, and then we'll be live for that.
Christina Parts and Networks, how do they look?
Beat on the top and bottom line so far for this quarter. We're seeing EPS adjusted of $1.60 on revenues of $14.92 billion. As you can see, shares jumping about 7%. If we just look at Q2 revenue guide, that too is coming higher at $14.9 billion. I will continue to go through the report and come right back to you guys.
All right, Christina Parson.
We have Gap earnings as well. This is a closed retailer. They're up 13%. Gap has a double beat, 54 cents versus 37 cents. That's a nice beat EPS. 4.14 billion versus 4.07 billion. That is a nice beat on revenue as well. Tariffs were delayed for another month. For those that are asking, yes, tariffs were delayed on Mexico and Canada for another month until April 2nd. That was announced about a couple hours ago. Gap right here is up. That's a good sign. Another clothing retailer that's not getting hit as badly as like an Abercrombie. Now we'll see what happens after their call. Victoria's Secret had the same thing, and then Victoria's Secret tanked after the call. So we'll see what happens in their call, but they're up 13.2%. Palantir is also up 2% after hours. See, this is the game that the market keeps playing. Every day we end red, and then after hours we see some green, get a little excited, and then we just go back to red. Costco's down 1%. Broadcom's trying to go up to 9% right here. That candle continues to expand. HPE down 16%. Serve Robotics is down 7%. We'll get their numbers in a second. Samsara is down 13%. Gap's up 13%. Bigbear's down 14%. And then you got Costco right here down about 1% currently right now. Yeah, this is another day of some red earnings. Definitely some red earnings. My average cost on NVIDIA now is 122.9 for those that are asking. 122.9. Well, I mean, I'm happy Broadcom's up. Like that's my takeaway from these earnings. I'm happy Broadcom. Like if Broadcom was down, that just would not be good for the overall semiconductor ecosystem, and obviously not good for the broader growth stock AI capex trade, but the rest of the companies are getting hit. Here is Trump just about 20 minutes ago talking about the tariffs.
Canada, one from Mexico.
Yes, sir.
They've been in the news lately, haven't they? And I spoke to the president of Mexico, wonderful woman, today, and we helped them out with the problem they were having to do with the tariffs, short-term tariffs. And we had a very good conversation. Also, we discussed drugs, and they've been working much harder lately. Do you notice that? On people coming in and drugs. And we've made tremendous progress on both.
President Trump, what's your thought about why the markets are so spooked? Do you think they don't like the tariffs?
Oh, this is the clip. I didn't know that. This is the clip where he's asked about the stock market. Here we go.
Or do they not like the uncertainty with some of the changes that have been the carve-outs?
Well, a lot of them are globalist countries and companies that won't be doing as well because we're taking back things that have been taken from us many years ago. We've been treated very unfairly as a country. We protect everybody. We do everything for all these countries. And a lot of these are globalist in nature. You know, they have, if you're outside of the United States, it's going to be a little bit different. We just weren't treated right. We were ripped off as a country. I've been saying it for a long time. And I did it to a certain extent in the first administration, but with COVID coming in, we had to focus on that toward the end. But we had the greatest economy in history in the first administration, and I think we'll do even better now. But this is something that we have to do. There'll always be a little short-term interruption. I don't think it's going to be big, but the countries and companies that have been ripping us aren't particularly happy with what I'm doing. But the United States will be very happy. And, you know, our farmers are going to be very happy. And again, there'll be disruption. But in the end, I said it before with China, we signed an unbelievable deal with China, $50 billion in purchases, and we're doing great. Biden, however, when he came in, they never enforced that deal. So that's the only thing that basically you have globalist companies that have been ripping us off that won't be able to rip us off any longer. I think that's what the big charges.
Have you been influenced, some of these exemptions that have been announced and some of these temporary delays, have you been influenced in those decisions because of the market reaction?
Well, there are no delays at all. No, nothing to do with the market. I'm not even looking at the market because long term.
There you go. That's the line that's been going viral for the past hour. I'm not even looking at the market.
Temporary delays, have you been influenced in those decisions because of the market reaction?
Well, there are no delays at all. No, nothing to do with the market. I'm not even looking at the market because long term, the United States will be very strong with what's happening here. Now, these were countries and companies, foreign companies that have been ripping us off, and no president did anything about it until I came along, and then I did a lot about it. You know, we took in tariffs from China, $600 billion. Nobody else took in 10 cents from China. They never did. But when COVID came along, we had to focus on COVID. We did a great job. We got rid of that. We ended up handing over with a market that was higher than it was previous to COVID coming in. But this is very much about companies and countries that have ripped off this country, our beloved USA, and they're not going to be ripping us off anymore. So, you know, I think that has an impact on the market.
So there is Trump pretty clearly saying he values the lack of being ripped off by other countries, aka the reasoning behind the pursuit of tariffs, more than the quote unquote short-term interruptions that the stock market is currently facing. I mean, it's just saying it point blank. At the end of the day, you can choose to believe him or not, but he is pretty obviously saying he does not care about market volatility. He cares about tariffs. And there you go. That's what we got from, that's what you got from Trump. He doesn't care. You either buy this dip and you're excited about it or you hate it. It's one or the other. But that is the pain that we're having right now. Again, it's always important to remind everyone we are barely down year to date on the actual market. I mean, I know from the highs in February, yes, it's down, it's volatile. That's what happens in the market. But we just today got to our 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. Now, we got to defend this. We cannot really go below 5,650 or realistically 5,700. We go below that, then it's kind of look out below, and then we'll see where the pain stops, if it does stop. So we got to defend this 200-day moving average. We're slightly above it right now after hours. This is the first day we've touched it since November 2023, which was actually the bottom. And then we started a great 2024, but we're going to see. We're going to see how bad this gets. Broadcom is up 10%. Let's get another update on what's going on with Broadcom.
Than it was before, Christina.
Yeah, much of this has to do with just AI driving a lot of the demand in the first half of this year, when a lot of analysts and sell side were expecting that to happen in the second half. And I say that because you had semiconductor revenue come in at $8.2 billion, which was higher than the street anticipated. Infrastructure revenue also higher, but more specifically, their AI revenue actually climbed 77% year over year in Q1. So it came out to about $4.1 billion. But what they're anticipating for Q2 is that number to climb even higher to $4.4 billion, with the CEO saying in a statement, quote, that as hyperscalers partners continue to invest in AI XPUs, so there's the individual chips, and connectivity solutions for AI data centers. So in other words, he's telling us he's still bullish going into the following quarter because of these hyperscalers spending money. And so all of that strength, as well as the revenue guide coming in higher than anticipated, helping shares.
All right, Christina Parts-Nevelis, thank you.
Thanks.
Gap and Costco earnings are out. Courtney Reagan is doing double duty and has the numbers.
Hi there. Yeah, let's start with Gap. Shares actually surging here on this, up about 14%. So Gap earnings per share beating the street by a decent margin at 54 cents. The street was looking for 37 cents. Revenues also stronger than expected at 4.15 billion. The street was looking for 4.07 billion. Total comp sales up 3%. The street was looking for those to grow just 1%. Old Navy, very strong, up 3%. Gap, the namesake brand, that was up 7%. Banana Republic comp store sales, those were up 4%. The street account actually, consensus looking for that to fall about 1.5%. Gross margin, pretty strong, 38.9%. Operating margin also much stronger than expected at 6.2%. The street was looking for 4.7%. When you look at the guidance, this might be looked at as a little conservative. They're looking for net sales growth between 1% and 2%. The street was looking for that more on the high end at 1%.
So Gap's overall earnings, we talked about that. That was good. They raised guidance as well. It wasn't as bad as Abercrombie, which kind of lowered their guidance for fiscal year 2025. That's why that stock is actually up at this point about 30, not 35%, but that's why it's up about 13%, whereas Abercrombie was down 15%. Now, in terms of the White House summit that's going to be happening on Friday for crypto, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. This week went by pretty quick, but tomorrow is going to be this whole summit thing. Vlad's going to be there. Coinbase CEO is going to be there. A bunch of Michael Saylor, all these crypto folks are going to be there. I mean, this is what David Sachs said about it today. I'm very skeptical, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I'm really skeptical that this thing is going to result in anything meaningful. So David Sachs said today, over the past decade, the federal government sold approximately 195,000 Bitcoin for proceeds of 336 million. If the government had held the Bitcoin, it would be worth 17 billion. The problem is no one cares. No one cares about that. Literally, no one cares about this stat. What we care about is how are you funding the crypto reserve? I mean, these guys are talking about all these stats like it actually matters. We want results. People voted for Trump, or at least the crypto people voted for Trump, to buy the Bitcoin. Not the Solana, not the XRP, to buy the Bitcoin. And the fact that even Saylor is okay with them buying all these shit coins is like, all right, whatever. I guess Saylor's just accepting what they have to do to get the Bitcoin purchases, but they're not explaining how they're going to fund buying the Bitcoin. No one knows. No one freaking knows. And I personally am getting tired of it as well. And maybe I'm being a little impatient. Maybe tomorrow we'll get the answers. But until they actually explain what they're going to do to buy the Bitcoin, I don't want to hear about this crypto reserve. Why does it matter? Like, realistically, why does it matter until we know, are you taking our tax dollars? Are you using tariff revenue? Are you diverting funds from another agency that you're shutting down? Because until you show the money, it's not coming out of thin air. And so, and if you are using tax dollars, just say it. I think they don't want to say it because it sounds really bad politically to say we're buying magic beans with people's money. I'm saying magic beans not in a negative way, but the far majority of people interpret Bitcoin like that. There's only a select group of the population that actually cares about Bitcoin. Most people don't. So they probably don't want to go the taxpayer route, but they're going to have to, because I don't know how else they do it. And I guess we're going to have to see. But I think tomorrow's crypto summit is going to be stupid, dude. I really do not have any faith it's going to result in anything meaningful. I think it's most likely going to be just them theorizing about ideas, nothing practical. And so until we get anything practical, we're not going to really get anything meaningful. Matthias says right here, only Congress passing a bill would allow them to buy crypto. Yeah. I mean, that's, but David Sachs has publicly said that don't comment on how we're going to do this until you know the details. And so it's like he's trying to, for lack of a better word, gaslight people on how this is going to happen. But in reality, we know that Congress has the purse, and it's like, I don't know how else is going to play out. Here's the Costco numbers as well.
Of what we saw from Gap, though shares down just about 1% here. They did miss on the top and the bottom line for the results. They came in with $4.02 for the earnings per share. The street was looking for $4.11. Revenues also lighter at $62.53. The street was looking for more than $63 billion there. The same store sales, we should though note, up 6.8%. That does include gas and foreign exchange impact. The release a little light on details, so we'll have to listen for more on that call too. Back over to you.
Mild reaction despite those misses. Courtney, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Well, coming up.
All right. Well, on a lighter note, we are starting the Robinhood trivia today. I am here right now. Are you guys in the weight room yet? It's going to be in 6 minutes. Let me know if you guys joined the weight room. I didn't get the notification for the weight room yet. It says trivia is back just for our gold members. For those that are new here or don't know what I'm talking about, Robinhood is doing a giveaway of $1 million of Bitcoin via some trivia with what's the dude's name that hosts this thing? I forgot his name, but the guy, there's some popular guy during COVID who HQ Trivia, that's what it is. HQ Trivia. Scott Rogowski. So yes, we are going to be playing it live here. My phone is charged. I'm at 56%. Okay. So we're good. I made sure to charge it so that you guys didn't have anxiety when it was red. You guys were freaking out about the battery, dude. I'm like, dude, I live on the edge with my battery. Like I have 20%. I was like, I don't know what you guys are freaking out about. But no, we got 50%. We're good. 50%. Okay, so you guys aren't in the weight room yet, right? I think the weight room in 40 seconds, it's going to open up and then we'll be in. Yesterday, obviously, I mean, it was fun, but I lost on the 10th question when it came to Apple and Microsoft. I thought Apple was not the first $1 trillion company. I thought it was Microsoft, and that's what made me lose. I'm afraid I'm going to lose early today, bro, because I got kind of lucky on 2 of those questions. And now I feel like, well, What if I don't get lucky until we get to the end, dude? Like, I feel like I'm going to get out early on this one for some reason. I don't know. We're going to have to see. But we're going to see how that plays out. Yeah, this is the, for those that missed my reaction yesterday. I still haven't put it into soundboard yet. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to put the third no in the soundboard. But for those that missed it yesterday, this is how we lost. 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10.
Next question, just a few left.
Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. Come on.
Company became the first to reach a $1 trillion market cap. The first to reach.
I did Microsoft. I think it's Microsoft, right? It has to be Microsoft. It wasn't Amazon. It was not Apple.
Has repped this company hard.
No, it was Apple. No, it was Apple. No! No! No.
Died in 2013, so he never got to see his beloved company reach $1 trillion in market cap, which happened on August 2nd, 2018. I love you, Uncle Al, and I love all of you who answered A for Apple, A for Allen, and A for Apple. Coincidence? Another mystery. Let's take a red, delicious bite out of Q11, the penultimate question. Here we go. What year was...
I was upset about that one. I'm in the waiting room. We got 3 minutes left. Yeah, we're going to see if we can win this one. I think this time I'm just going to make sure that I'm keeping my hand pretty steady here. And I'll try to just, as soon as the question comes up, I'll tilt the phone like this so I can see it, but the mic will be congruent with this mic. So you guys should be able to hear everything the whole time. And then once I pick my answer, I'll let you guys know what it's like. But let's see if we can win this one. This is going to be for gold members. So you have to be a Robinhood gold member, which means I don't think there's going to be 400,000 this time, even though there are 3.1 million gold members, but I don't know if that many of them are going to show up. Every gold member gets something on this one, which is good because it's like you get a participation trophy, which kind of feels nice, but I want to win. So let's see if we can actually win. Dude, I remember when I played JV basketball and they gave us participation trophies. It was so sad. Our team was so bad, bro. We lost like 15 games. We won like 2 of them. And at the end in the awards, they gave you like this little trophy. It was like, dude, I don't even like it. We don't like, it's whatever, bro. We don't even need these trophies. So that's what they're going to give you. Probably like 0.000001 of Bitcoin to participate. But we're going to see how this plays out here today. 615 people won yesterday, and they split at $1,600. So we'll see here today. Dude, I feel like, if they give a really hard question in the beginning, I don't know. It's a lot. We're going to need a little bit of luck here. Some of these questions, I think I'll be fine. I have a decent amount of knowledge, I would say, in some of these areas, but in other areas, it's not. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see, bro. Like some questions were easy, like what's a penny stock? That was easy. But otherwise, these harder questions, I don't know. Chat says, how do I play? Chat, open your Robinhood. Oh, wait, Chat, are you a gold member? You got to be a gold member. Yeah, you got to be, dude. Yeah, you're not going to be able to sign up in a minute. But if you were a gold member, you could sign up, and then all you have to do is click the thing on the top right hand, and you'd be able to do it. For those that says it's not working, reset your app real quick. Just reset it, get rid of it. I don't think there was an update today, but you can update it real quick, but there shouldn't be an update. You just have to reset it and it should pop up. Oh, you're a gold member? All right, chat. So go to the right-hand side, the top right-hand side of the screen, and just click it. And then click join waiting room. And exit the app from all your other apps and reload it. You have a minute. You should be able to do it. And you should be able to play. All right, chat's playing with us. Put in the chat if you're playing. Put in the chat if you're playing. Put in the chat. Let's see if we can get something done right here. By the way, 53% of you said you did not buy the dip today. So 47% said yes, 53% said no. All right, we got a lot of people playing. This does not work on the browser, from my understanding. It only works on the phone. All right, here we go. This is going to be fun. I think it's going to be another 12 questions. Again, you probably got to get all 12 for 12 to be correct to win a share of the prize. And it's going to be another million of big. That means Robinhood's giving away $2 million, bro. It seems like Q1's going good if they can afford to give away $2 million. That's not too bad. All right, here we go. 3 seconds. We should be starting. Here we go.
Oh, hello again, everybody. Remember me from yesterday? Remember this whole thing? Robinhood Trivia Live? That's right, we're back, baby, with part 2, exclusively for Robinhood's Gold members. All due respect to Shirley Bassey. Wow, this feels extra special today. I'm all spiffed out, got my tie on. Feel like I'm hosting trivia for a secret society. Kind of am. Who am I, by the way? Who am I? I'm Quizzy McGuire, Walt Quizney, the Quizzard of Waverly Place, Edward Quizzerhands, the 24-karat kid, Stone Cold Steve Quizzin, Scott Rogowski, your quiz daddy emeritus, back in the saddle at Robinhood HQ in Menlo Park, NorCal, San Mateo County, nestled snugly between the San Francisco Bay and the Santa Cruz Mountains. Oh, it's so lovely here. And because today's show is only available to Robinhood Gold members, I solemnly swear to give you the best trivia I have to give. It's going to be solid gold. Better than McKenna's gold, Yuli's gold, City Slickers 2, the legend of Curly's gold. There's going to be gold in the ceiling, gold on the floors, all over the walls by the time we're done. Behold all this gold! Okay, before I get too carried away, let me remind you how this works, in case you weren't here yesterday, or if you already forgot. Robinhood Trivia is the game where you answer questions in the Robinhood app right here on your cellular device for the chance to claim your prize. I'm going to ask 12 questions, ranging from easy to hard. You'll have 10 seconds from when I start reading to tap your answer. You can change your answer at any point before the timer hits 0. But when the time runs out, your answer is locked in. If you get it right, you move on to the next round. Good for you. If you make it all the way to the end, answering all 12 questions correctly.
There is a delay on YouTube. So if you're playing it, just like mute the stream, play it on your own, and then come back. But if you're watching, just watch. But yeah, don't depend on this for the stream because it's delayed.
Again? We're running it back here on Robinhood? That's $2 million in Bitcoin between yesterday and today? That's... Really? This is so much money, and you can't give me just one of those Bitcoin. And that's not all, by the way. They say 90% of life is just showing up, and that is 100% true of today, because every single one of you can claim some Doge just for playing. If you play and stay, you will get a prize. It's the golden rule here at Robinhood. No one leaves empty-handed on Robinhood Trivia Gold Edition. And just like yesterday, you're going to want to stay to the end of the show, because I have a special guest waiting in the wings to talk to you all. He's tall, got black hair, looks like a less angry Trent Reznor. Anyone want to take a guess? Let's focus up.
Vlad?
Because we got some trivia coming at you fast and furious, hot and heavy. All you gold and beautiful people. Who's got the Midas touch for Robinhood Gold? Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
All right, I'm nervous.
Let's get this gold show on the road.
I'm nervous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Game start. Numero.
Oh my gosh.
What's the chemical symbol for gold on the periodic table? Oh, we're going back. We'll go back to chemistry class. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Did you have to memorize the periodic table back in school?
I picked AU. I picked AU.
No? Look it up on YouTube and call me when you memorize it, okay?
I think a lot of people probably picked GD and they might have got out. I picked AU.
Call you Orem members.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I almost got cooked on that, bro.
But until then, just be satisfied knowing that the chemical symbol for gold is AU.
All right, here we go.
AU from the Latin, Orem. I just explained.
That was a hard question, bro.
Chemistry with me, because I'm going to be here for 11 more questions.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Tumero. Question 2. What is the underlying technology of most cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Blockchain.
What's beneath that?
Blockchain.
What's the underlying technology? You know, cryptocurrencies are all the rage these days. Is there a purpose to them? I sure hope so, because you're all about to get a piece of it. What makes crypto so special is that underlying technology, which many people smarter than I believe is also useful for things like smart contracts and DAOs.
134,000 people. 60,000 just got eliminated just now.
DAOs? I'm not sure. For those of you who believe in the utility of crypto, a big reason is because of its blockchain technology. The blockchain. You got to stay on chain. Those of you who are skeptics about crypto, you probably got this wrong.
All right.
Blockchain, my heart. We're running the block to Q3. I'm not going to.
Number 3. Oh my
How
gosh.
many times a year do U.S.-based public companies report on their earnings?
4.
How many times
4.
a year do U.S.-based public companies report on their earnings? Look,
10,000 people got eliminated on that one.
I could have included a key word, but I specifically left it out. Why? Because we're at Q3. They start to get harder at Q3. If I asked how many times a year do U.S.-based public companies report on their quarterly earnings, you might have used your powers of perception, your Holmesian levels of deduction, and guessed that the answer was 4, because quarterly means 4 times a year. And you would have been right. The answer is 4.
All right, we got 4.
That's
We got
right.
third one.
Quarterly earnings. Look at that.
Number 4.
Beat the estimates and earned your way to Q4, the quarterly question. There it is.
Number 4. Here, number 4.
Which federal agency is responsible for regulating the stock market?
SEC, Security and Exchange.
Really listen
SEC.
up to these questions. Okay, you got to listen.
I think about 7,000 people got eliminated on the last one.
I put the word federal in the question and then gave you 2 answers with federal in it. So maybe you felt the pressure of the 10 seconds and you just chose what you thought was the obvious answer. Well, no. If you didn't know the federal agency responsible for regulating the stock market, then you didn't know that it does have the word federal in it. It doesn't have the word federal. It's the Securities Exchange Commission,
All
the
right.
SEC. That is the answer here.
Number 5.
That was so tricky. I almost got tripped up even explaining it to you. The
Oh
SEC,
boy.
Securities
Here we go.
Exchange Commission. Not the SEC, but in just a sec, I've got Q5 here. And a second's up. Here we go. Approximately what was NVIDIA's market cap as of the end of 2024? The final day of 24, December 31st. What was the market cap
I
of
picked.
NVIDIA?
Oh, I picked 2. I'm wrong. I picked 2. I'm wrong.
If you found yourself frustrated that ChatGPT was not answering the questions fast enough, then
That was a stupid one. That was a stupid. I got that one wrong. That was such a stupid. I got that one wrong. I got it wrong. That was a stupid mistake. I picked 2. I know. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad, bro. That was a bad one. You can't switch it. You can't switch it.
Dollars. That's a whole heck of a lot of zeros. And what, 4 commas?
That was a
The
bad
4
one.
comma club? Okay, let's set market caps aside and put on our thinking caps.
All right, now I just hope I get one of the next ones wrong. Here we go. I just hope I get another one there.
Asset can be protected by FDIC insurance. Oh, FDIC insurance.
Cash.
Do you remember the Great Depression?
It would be
I'm
cash, right?
guessing Not.
Cash?
I don't. But if you are out there and you do,
It's cash.
well,
The answer is
hats off
cash.
to you for keeping up
The answer is
with
cash.
the younger generations and for joining me today. From what I hear, the Great Depression was
The answer is cash, right? Damn it, bro. That was stupid. I think that was just the pressure got to me on that one. That was dumb. I don't know why. You know, I've been seeing NVIDIA fluctuate below 3, below 2. I'm just like, I saw it at 2.3 trillion the other day, 2.5.
$1,000 per account.
That one
per
got to
owner.
me. That was
That's a
dumb.
lot of protection. Something to aim for.
That was
too.
dumb. All right, so for those that are still in,
Right up.
let me know if you're still in the chat,
You're
but
protected to 250.
you should be still in because these have been pretty easy so far. That was a stupid one.
The winning streak as we keep going here to Q7. Which of the following cryptocurrencies uses POS as the consensus algorithm?
I don't know the answer to
POS. What is that? You know, when I was growing up,
Ethereum.
POS
It's
meant
Ethereum.
something
It's Ethereum.
different.
It's Ethereum.
Adam
Yeah, it's
Sandler had
Ethereum.
a very funny song
It's
about a
Ethereum.
POS car that never got him very far. Ode to my car. Look it up. Classic. In the crypto world, POS means proof of stake, a mechanism for verifying transactions and maintaining a blockchain network, an alternative to proof of work.
You picked
which came
Bitcoin?
first
Damn, bro.
And is used by Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
I would have picked Ethereum. I would have got it right.
Used to
I would have got that right.
But in 2022, following the great merge, it transitioned to proof of stake, making Ethereum the answer here. Whew.
Okay, so now I'm hoping for a question that I genuinely get wrong, so I feel better about the NVIDIA blunder. Let's get a hard question, Robinhood. Let's make something hard now.
Late in the game as we head towards the home stretch at Q8. Here we go. When was the New York Stock Exchange established? Oh, another one of these questions was
1913. I would have picked 1913. I would have picked 1913. 27,000 people left. I would have picked 1913. I think that's the answer. That's the answer.
First official American dollar was printed at the U.S. Mint. Kentucky became the 15th state. The cornerstone for the White House was laid, and 24 stockbrokers signed the Buttonwood Agreement, establishing what would become the New York Stock Exchange. The year when all this magic happened was 1790.
There you go. There you go. How many of you got that wrong? I would not have. There is no way in hell I would have picked 1792. No way in hell. Even if you guys had said to pick it, I would not have picked that one. That was a hard one.
Which of these people is one of the creators of Dogecoin? Now, this is one of those.
Billy Marcus, because it's not Elon, it's not Satoshi. So Billy Marcus, by process of elimination, it would be Billy Marcus.
SpaceX and a whole lot of things. That leaves just one person. He was a software developer at IBM, and the story is quite crazy and how it all began. Back in 2013, an Adobe engineer named Jackson Palmer tweeted about it.
Who's still in? Who's still in from the chat? Who's still in?
He said, investing in Dogecoin, it's the next big thing. But our hero contacted him after seeing that, and a few months later, the pair turned the joke into a reality and turned Dogecoin into an actual cryptocurrency. Billy Marcus is the man.
Jason's still in. All right, we're rooting for Jason, baby. Jason is in. We are rooting for Jason.
Whether you win or lose, we'll be getting some Dogecoin at the end of the game. Yes. So thank you, Billy and Palmer.
All right, so they're giving away Dogecoin at the end.
3 more questions to go here, folks. Q10 starting to sweat.
Jason, it's on you now, brother. Let's do this. Let's bring it home.
People is a former chair of the Federal Reserve.
Oh, I don't. What the heck?
The Fed Reserve. We asked about the Fed a few times today. And yes,
Charles Hamlin. I would have said Charles Hamlin.
process of elimination again, all right? Again, history majors have the advantage here. Franklin.
Jason, did you pick Charles? Did you pick Charles, Jason?
32nd president. Lasted many
Damn it.
terms. Alexander Hamilton.
Jason, don't tell me you picked Roosevelt. Don't tell me you picked Roosevelt, Jason.
And Charles Hamlin
Oh, you
was
did.
a Harvard graduate and Boston lawyer who believed in sacrificing oneself for the good of society. Clearly, that team spirit helped him earn an appointment from President Woodrow Wilson as the very first chair of the Federal Reserve Board. Yes, Charlie Hamlin is your answer. Go, Charlie. It's my grandpa, John.
All right, Jason's still in. We got 2 left.
Who's got the golden ticket today? Go you if you got it right. We're going for the gold here, or the Bitcoin, or the glory. We're going for something. Just 2 questions left. The penultimate Q11. Of these 3 cryptocurrencies, which had the highest market cap as of the end of January 2025?
Solana. That's easy. Solana. That's Solana. That's easy, Jason. I know you got that one, bro. That's easy. One more. This one was easy.
Fluctuations are especially true of cryptocurrency market caps. Now, this one started the month.
There's only 4,200 people left.
4 weeks later, they had reached 112 billion, and then a week after that, went back down to 93. But I asked about the end of January, and on that day, that $112 billion market cap
Solana.
belonged to Solana.
That was easy.
Solana's
All right, so we got 1 left. Jason, this is the last one. Let's bring it home, brother.
9 billion. Who do you? Who do you?
Here we go.
Remember, the market cap of today's game is 1 million BTC, and we are 1 question away from determining who's going to get a share of that grand prize. So this is it, folks. Are you locked in? Seatbelts fastened? We're going all the way to the last stop in this ride, pulling all the stops. It all boils down once again to this at Q12. Which of these stocks had the highest percentage returns from the start of 2024 to the end of 2024?
Counter. 3,200 people left. Jason, tell me you picked Palantir, bro.
Last year.
Tell me you picked Palantir, Jason. Tell me you brought it home on Palantir. Jason, tell me you brought it home on Palantir. No, hold on. It's AppLovin, right? Is it AppLovin?
And guess who not only didn't buy any of it?
Hold on. Is it AppLovin?
I've never even heard of it.
I think it's AppLovin.
Why is this company so valuable? I've got one word for you: monetization. You know,
It's AppLovin. I think it's AppLovin.
until you want to intentionally drop your phone in the toilet, but instead you keep playing and watching because you're so hooked on the game.
Palantir was the best S&P stock, not the best performing though one, I think.
And if you knew that, and you bought in on the stock when it was $40
Oh,
a share,
Jason put
you had a
AppLovin.
great 2024 because it hit $400 a share by the end of it.
Yeah.
And if you got this right, if you guessed AppLovin, you're going to have an even better 2025.
Okay, so I might have picked Palantir if I was still in. even though maybe I would have switched my answer real quick, but I would have picked Palantir immediately, dude. I would have picked Palantir.
You gave me 12 correct answers. You're one of the people standing
Jason
here at the
wins!
finish line, and you should be jumping up and down right now. And calling
Jason, I'm sending you a StreamYard right now. If you could join real quick.
baby. Oh, and what do winners get on Robinhood Trivia? A share of the grand prize, 1 million USD in BTC. Woo! $1 million in Bitcoin. We gave it away yesterday, and we did it again today. And bonus time, because all of you are Robinhood Gold members, everyone who participated will be splitting a fresh pot of Doge. So expect to see a sprinkling of the granddaddy of all meme coins in your wallet, courtesy of the good folks here at Robinhood. Wow. I hope your month is off to a golden start. You clearly had the Midas touch today. It was an absolute honor to be your host and bring you mind-blowing prizes that I didn't have to pay for. That was the best part. But someone did pay for it, and I want to introduce you to that distinguished someone right now.
Is this Vlad?
Please put your phones down for just a few seconds so you can put your hands together for the man who made all of this possible, our special guest, Robinhood CEO, Vlad Tenev. Vlad, get in here.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, thank you, man.
Thanks for running it back with us. It's great to have you. Thank you for infusing a spark of that HQ trivia spirit into our Robinhood realm. I'd like to begin by congratulating our trivia winners who unearthed a combined total of $2 million in Bitcoin over the past 2 days. A treasure truly worthy of legend. A special nod also goes to every gold member who participated today. Whether or not luck favored you in this round, you'll each be receiving some Doge as a token of our appreciation. Now, some of you may recall Gold Monday from last year. This time, we've gone bigger, declaring an entire gold month to celebrate.
Gold month.
We wanted to kick it off with something fun and engaging, so thank you for joining us in this special trivia event. But this is just the beginning. On Fridays in March, starting tomorrow, we'll be revealing weekly limited time drops and offers exclusively for our gold members. Think of it like hidden gems awaiting discovery. And mark your calendars for our second annual gold event on March 26th.
There you go, March 26th. That's the date.
We'll be unveiling exciting new features designed to further elevate your Robinhood experience. Now, thank you again for tuning into this special gold edition of Robinhood Trivia Live. Keep an eye out on the app and our social channels for more details about Gold Month. There's plenty more waiting to be revealed. And we'll see you on March 26th.
Will I see them too?
Yeah, you're invited. You should come.
All right.
Yeah, March 26th.
March 26th.
All right.
Dude, this freak. I got $2 of Doge. I got 204 in Doge. This company and their marketing is at a different level. This is like beyond consumer finance. This is like they're taking it to a level where they know they are going to win when it comes to being one of the biggest financial services companies in the world. That was incredible. Okay, so the NVIDIA question was stupid. Definitely was stupid. I got that wrong. However, I would not have gotten 1792. I would not have. I would have picked 1913. I would have picked 1800 before 1792. I would not have gotten that. AppLovin, I think at the last second, I might have realized, wait a second, Palantir was the best S&P performing stock. AppLovin was the best performing stock in general. But as soon as he said 700%, I was like, wait a second, that's AppLovin. They were up 10x at one point. But I would have been so excited, I would have picked Palantir. I would have been so excited, I would have picked Palantir. So, maybe I would have picked AppLovin at the end, but the Federal Reserve question, I definitely would have got that wrong. But one of our friends of the channel did indeed get all 12 correct. And we got to bring them onto the show. But before we do that, let's roll the intro.
I am the champion! I won! Winner! We did it! No shit! Holy moly!
Dude, you fucking won.
Dude, out of control. Winner.
How much did you win? How much did you win?
$1,326.25.
No, let me see. Let me see. How much did you win?
It doesn't. It's not focusing. 1,000. It's on my Twitter. I just posted it. I just tweeted it.
1,300. All right,
Man. And I get $2.04 in doggy coin. Doge. Holy what's
okay. So
what?
hold on. I have a couple questions to ask you. First of all,
I don't care. I won. I told you I would win, and I won.
how did
Let's
you pick
go.
1792? Was that luck or?
I picked 1792, mother. Let's go. All I do is win.
No. This guy doesn't understand YouTube. You can't play that stuff, bro. We're gonna get banned. That's copyrighted. Gotta calm down a little bit.
I won.
Okay, so let me ask
I
you some
won.
questions about. Oh, this guy's
I'm a
drunk. We can't
winner.
even ask him questions. This guy's drunk at this point. No, but did you get lucky for 1792, or you actually knew it?
Oh no, I got lucky on 1792.
Okay,
I got lucky. I put app like right away on that last question too, and then you said something, and I was like, oh god, I might have missed it.
So
but I won, dude. I won.
Yeah, we heard you said it 15,000 times. We got it. We understand. Like we get it, bro.
Dude, it was stressful. I was like, okay, maybe you can open up like an AI app. No, dude, that was
no.
way
You have to know it. You have to know it off.
dude. Those go way too fast.
Okay, so hold on. You got.
I was typing the answers in the chat too. So like,
you got lucky on 1792.
bro, it was 1800s random though. Like I was like, no, because there's more than 100 years. Or like,
yeah,
no.
but I wouldn't have.
No, I was like 19. I was like, there's crashes. I said 1796.
I would have picked 1913. I would. There's no way.
No, because then there was no way, because the 1909 Spanish flu, whatever. We had stock markets then. It was already going on.
Okay, so the Charles Hamlin, that was just process of elimination, right? That one.
Why you gotta discredit my win here?
No one's discrediting your win. I'm talking through. I'm talking through how you got the answers in the first place.
I put them in the chat as I was in the Discord. You just didn't have them there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, oh, you were doing live on Discord with your members. Okay, cool.
Actually, we were watching your stream live.
Yeah, there was a delay though. That's why it didn't fully.
No, your chat. The chat doesn't have a delay. Only the video. The chat is actually live.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at the chat, there's like. Well, no, you're right. But there was like 5 seconds left by the time the chat actually types in an answer.
Yeah, but there's only like 9 seconds in total.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
which
point.
is crazy. Like I was like, okay, maybe you could open up an AI thing, and it's like, no way. What did you lose on?
I lost on Nvidia.
1979.
No, I lost on Nvidia, dude. I don't know why I picked 2 trillion. I felt like just because Nvidia's been falling the past couple of days. I'm like, oh, it's not close to 3 trillion. It was only close to 2 trillion. But that was a stupid one.
Bro. $1,326.25.
I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna sell it and buy some hood. I feel like that's what you're gonna do.
I mean, when does it show up?
Probably it probably takes a couple hours. It'll show up. That's what happened on New Year's Eve.
Where's
okay? So here's the question.
Dude, I don't win this kind of stuff normally. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. 12 for 12 is not easy, bro. That is,
dude. The stress, the anxiety was insane. I was like, oh my god, because it was going so fast.
And I also would have picked Palantir at the end, dude. Like
honestly, like I was there, and I was like, and it was like literally 1 second or less. Like I wasn't even sure if I made it in, and then it was there.
App Lovin was the obvious answer, but as soon as they said best performing stock, in my head I was like, Palantir was the best.
I had a bunch of people in the chat that won. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit! Our group won.
Put in the chat if you won. Put in the chat. Let me see in the chat if you won. So wait, so 1 million divided by 3,000 people won, roundabout.
Dude, half my chat won. Half my group won.
Oh, you mean in your Discord?
Yeah.
1,400. No. I think about. Hold on. That means no. There's only like.
No, it says 700 something people.
Oh, 700 people. Yeah, 700.
754.
People. Okay, we got Matthew, who's a winner. We got Josiah, who's a winner. Bruce was a winner. Navad. All right, dude. You guys got $1,300 in Bitcoin. I mean, that's gotta feel good. That's gotta feel good. Okay,
Hell
so
yeah.
so here's my question. What do you think? What do you think this giveaway?
What am I, this is more profit than I've made in 3 years of trading. Fucking shit.
Well, they're gonna feel happy about Robinhood because of
Oh
this.
shit.
What do you feel about this from a marketing perspective?
I just want to know when my Bitcoin's going to show up in this little account here because I'm not seeing it.
No, you'll get it in a couple hours. It'll come in a couple hours. What do you think this means for Hood, the stock? I mean, the fact that they're doing this, they're innovating on marketing, like this is pretty exciting.
I won.
All right, Jason, if you came on to literally said you won for 5 hours,
No,
you
all right,
got it.
fine.
Like you can either provide some analysis on this or you can just keep saying you won for 5 hours. And that's
okay. All right. What's the question?
The question is, what does this mean for Hood?
I think this is cool. How many people did we start with? Yesterday there was like 400,000, right? And I know that some people like just took the opportunity to buy Robinhood Gold. And now, even if they didn't want it, like now they're going to have a month to see, do I keep it or not?
Okay, first of all, you guys, I'm not salty that Jason won. I'm happy Jason won. However, this is a live stream and we need to provide content. And him just screaming that he won, it means it's going to be boring and you guys are going to leave. So I'm trying to engage a discussion, okay? I'm very happy that Jason won, but we also have to like talk about what he won versus just saying that he won for
well, so we talked about it was $1,326.25 today in Bitcoin. Now tomorrow it might only be $1,000. You never know.
Why would it be? Because Bitcoin. Are you going to sell it or are you going to keep it?
I don't think you can sell it. I don't think you'd be able to sell it because wasn't it the last time when they gave away the Doge? So big. I think last time when they gave away the Doge, it was you have to keep it for like a year or something.
No, you don't. You don't have to keep it. You have to keep at least $2. You have to keep the amount of it. You keep the amount of it on the platform. So you have to keep at least 1,300 on the app, but you don't have to literally keep the Bitcoin for 1,300. So
no, I think dude, I think that's a lot to give away. Well, I mean, since I won it, I feel like it's a lot to give away, but I guess there's only 700 something people.
No, but 1,300 is great for you as an individual person, but to Robinhood, $1 million is nothing to them, right?
I mean,
so this is
I think it's very crystal clear, right? So did you do the stats on before? So I think that they know. So this is how good they are. They know that every time they do this, they make X amount of money definitively because last time they know they ran this giveaway, right? And when they did it back to back for gold, they made X amount of extra gold members. And so clearly they made more than $1 million. Otherwise it wouldn't be worth it to them. Right. And so now we got to find out, like now we have metrics to this. And so if they can repeat this process from a marketing perspective, if they can repeat this process, dude, they could be giving away stuff like all the time.
I think this is the easiest thing for them to do over and over and over again. By the way, guys, we have Broadcom that is freaking pumping right now after hours. Whatever they just said on earnings, you're getting an 18% move. That was up from 8%. So Broadcom is, I mean, just doing incredible right here. So yeah, that one's moving well. And then we got this update right here from Bloomberg. It looks like Trump tomorrow on the crypto summit is going to be announcing an executive order for Bitcoin. Now, if this gets Bitcoin to pump, this is also going to be good for Hood because Hood's going to benefit from the volatility of it. But yeah, dude, I agree with you, Jason. If they keep doing this stuff over and over again, like
I would be really interested to know, like, what is the metric, right? Because now they've done this twice and they have repeatable hard metrics now. Every time they give away $1 million, they actually can say that they make X amount of money. Right. And no, but what other brokerage is even thinking like this? Like it's not even a question here.
Yeah. And
which is why I love Hood so much. But today's close was like, dude, if it wasn't for non-farm payrolls and JPAL tomorrow, honestly, the market probably would have completely fallen off it. Like it would have been worse. But
see, Broadcom shouldn't be up 18% if we're about to fall off a cliff. That means there's something to this AI trade.
I mean, I think it's just uncertainty, right? like we are teetering between standard market correction and potentially calling a bear market, right? Like I don't think we're going to, but I'll follow the charts. I just, we're at the spot where you either take your shot here and now, and you're either right or wrong, I think, really. But it'll be throughout next month. We'll know, right? Because I think you said at 5,700 on SPX or on the futures is important, right? Like that's 200-day simple moving average. Again, I don't use that as like hard support or resistance, anything like that. But can we go lower? Yeah, we could. But at a certain point, it's like you don't want to see it go too much lower, because then you go from your 10% correction to 25% bear market.
Jason, did you know you won?
Yeah.
Wait, so are you selling it or are you holding on to it?
I don't sell my Bitcoin. Why would I sell? Hold on. I just got lunch.
What'd you get? What'd you get for lunch? What are we eating? I had a banana for lunch today.
No.
There's my
I
banana.
got a bento box. Sushi.
Oh, hold on. What sushi? Is that spicy tuna?
Yeah, it's a little tuna roll.
All right.
It seems like a lot, actually. I didn't mean to. Where's my soup?
Dude, Robinhood just paid for a lot of lunches, Brody.
Chicken. I didn't get a miso soup.
Dude. $1,300 must.
By the way, it's like 2:00 over here, you guys. So
yeah, so it's only like getting any free money, especially if it's over 1,000. It must just feel good, regardless, right? Like,
yeah, no, it kind of does, man. I'm not gonna lie,
because it feels like you're paying for like the next 20 lunches for free, essentially.
I mean, I will send me your address. I'll DoorDash you lunch.
Well, I'm gonna be in California soon, so we can go get lunch together.
Yeah.
Well,
like who put Alexander Hamilton?
Yeah, dude, no. When you said the F word in the chat, I was like, oh, he must have picked like the wrong answer. But no,
that was just for like the anxiety, and it wasn't the F word, but it was like the anxiety. Like it's the pressure is real. I'm like, whoa, this is going fast.
I got the Nvidia question that got me hard, but I would have got it right outside of Palantir and 1792. I wouldn't have picked it.
You wouldn't have picked up 11. I mean, I think the chat figured it out.
Yeah. Maybe in the last second I would have picked it, but that was real, dude. Picking at 11.
I won, and so did Matthew.
Yeah, so there's a couple of guys in the chat that won. 1,300 gold. 1,300 is a gold sub for 26 months. That's correct. The first three were really easy. What was the one that was? Oh, I almost lost on the gold one, AU. But then I remembered the Robinhood card that I have says AU on it. I was like, oh no, that's gold.
No, because I know futures, and there's like CFDs are AU, dude. AU USD.
Yeah, I could have picked GD for a second. I was like, that would have been more embarrassing than the Nvidia one, in my opinion. That would have been bad. But
if you would have gotten knocked down the first question, I was kind of worried that it was going to be harder than the last one. I feel like that last question on that last one was really hard.
The hard questions were
Line. Who knows about Line? No, I just remember it was a big deal, but
the hardest questions were the Federal Reserve, and then the
Federal Reserve. What was the Federal Reserve question?
When was it established, right? Or when was the stock market? Sorry, when was the stock market established?
1970, 1796 or whatever.
1792. That one, and then the app 11, I think, were the hardest ones. But they came at good moments. They didn't come at the beginning.
There was a couple. Like, honestly, for a second, I almost pushed FTC instead of SEC. I almost put it.
There's no way. There's no way.
Well, I didn't, but it was like because it made it so like you wanted to put it because it was like Federal Trade Commission, and you're like trade federal. And if you don't stop yourself, you're like, oh, there's another one.
Jess picked Palantir. Jess got to the end.
Oh no!
Palantir. See, I would have, it would have hurt even more if I lost on Palantir, because if I had like looked at it for 10 seconds, I would have figured out it's not Palantir, it's app 11. But as soon as I saw Palantir, I was like, oh, it's Palantir. That's the answer. But that's not it.
Yeah, I bet.
My emotions would have got the best of me on that last
Just
one.
so you guys know. If you know, this is this is the app question. it does not. My Zoom is not autofocus. Anyways.
Okay, so this has inspired me.
It looks like no. So check this out. So I took a screenshot on the last question. Which one of these stocks had the highest percentage returns of the start from the start of 2024 to the end of 2024? At that point, this is the last question. There were 3,297 people. So don't be sad if you missed that last one.
Everyone did,
because 2,500 people missed that very last question. That last question knocked out 2,500 people.
I would have picked Palantir so quick. Maybe at the last second, I would have realized it's not asking about S&P stock. It's asking about stock. Because Palantir was the best performing S&P stock last year. So.
No. When did it? But Palantir only got into the S&P.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was still the best performing. It was in the S&P. It was the best performing. That's why I think a lot of people probably clicked it. AppLovin, that was a sneaky question at the end, but it was a really good question. That got rid of a lot of people at the end.
It knocked out 2,500 people, man.
Yeah.
Or more than. Just 3,300 people were there, and then 750 people had it by the end.
There was no time to use ChatGPT or AI for this,
dude. There was no time. I mean, like 10 seconds. I'm eating. But yeah, very fast.
So okay, so this has inspired me. I want to do this on my channel.
I texted you how to do it.
Oh,
we used to do this at corporate with the big groups. There's an app called Kahoot.
But like thousands of people can sign up to a Kahoot for free.
Yeah, and then you make your own.
Huh. Interesting. Have you guys played this thing, Kahoot, before? You guys played this thing? Kahoot.
Yep. They know. They know.
Oh, okay. Dude, I want to do this. This is fun, bro. This was actually really fun. And if we're playing with like thousands of people on the stream, it would be even more fun. We're not going to give away $1 million, but we could give away like $1,000 or something, right? That could be the grand prize. $1,000 is still not horrible.
Ooh.
So,
I mean, does any other YouTuber do that? I don't think so.
I've never seen a YouTuber do stock market trivia giveaways.
I mean, Mr. Beast don't give away stuff like that.
Yeah, and he does, Lambos and stuff, and he does crazier things. But yeah, this is fun. All right, I think we're gonna set it up, guys. This gave me a new content idea. This was super fun. Like it was great. I mean, we'll go out on the market cap question anyway. Oh wait, that is sad, bro. I lost on a market cap question. And if you know the story of my channel, you know that like 5 years ago, I barely knew what a market cap was. So,
do you have the Robinhood hat that says the market cap?
No, not yet. I'm going to get it. But this is just great for Hood, though, bro. They are on a different level. They are on a different freaking
That's level. Crazy.
That is pretty incredible.
Broadcom. You know what? What's cool is like a lot of people in our little community won. We got a bunch of people in the chat, a bunch of people in my chat. Yeah, dude.
No, but think about this. If you won if a company gives you $1,300, and let's say you're kind of using their products, you start having a bit of a brand affiliation with them, right? That's a big chunk of cash that you're getting. And
dude, there's no other brokerage doing anything like this. Like this is so far beyond like what the old freaking dinosaurs can even fathom. Like they can't even. There's nothing. So yeah, it's bullish long term for Hood, but if the market takes a dump, then just because it's a great company, it's not going to get saved. But
did you buy more today or no?
No, I did not.
Cool.
I did not. I was actually kind of worried, so I trimmed a little because I was like, I think it's gonna be, and I took down my short. So I had short-term options on because I was like, I was thinking that maybe the market would run up into some kind of S&P like rumor, but it didn't. So, today, because the charts, if it would have gone higher, the chart would have looked like we're at least in for a solid short squeeze, at least. And there's a pretty solid, like I can see 60 in a very short order on Robinhood, because the fall from 60 to where it is now was too fast for a lot of people to like get shaken out. So we have like there's an inefficiency in the market sitting there up to 60. So I do see that happening, but when and does it go lower first before it goes higher? That's what we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Zocold right here saying SoFi is giving athletes millions of dollars. Robinhood's giving it to the people. Now, Robinhood is doing some.
Giving it to the people.
Robinhood's doing some.
When's Carp gonna do one?
I don't know, but Robinhood is doing some like athlete sponsorships as well. But the point is they're mixing and matching their marketing so that they're not just corporate and just like NBA patches. They're like doing stuff that's engaged. And SoFi can afford to give away $1 million.
But dude, if you're gonna give money away to anybody, give it away to your customers.
100%.
Like, what is that?
But see, you have to.
And you not only give it away to your customers, like you're making money. Like definitively, they wouldn't do this if they weren't. Like, let's be real, they're not like a charitable organization, right? Like they're
of course there's an ROI.
They're making money here.
But see, here's the thing. This is why I've loved Robinhood for so long, and why I think you're getting so bullish as well. This is the culture inside the company. Like you need someone sitting in some part of the company to get this idea of like, hey, what if we get Scott Rogowski, blah, blah, blah. And then they need to talk to someone else. That person needs to talk to the product manager. Then that person needs to bring it up to someone who's 2 steps below Vlad. And that needs to get to Vlad. Then Vlad needs to hear the idea. Like you need that type of innovative culture where ideas are welcomed to get.
It's a great marketing team for sure. And to be able to put so I can tell you guys now what they're doing. Excuse me. Holy shit. They probably already know. They probably knew before this even went down, like before the end, or before the event started. Before the event started, by this afternoon, before the event started, they knew already how much money they made. And so if it's anywhere close to the last one, and good God, if it's more than the last giveaway, the giveaways will just get bigger, actually.
And that's going to get more people excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't rock. A bento box is supposed to come with miso soup, and I don't know where it didn't show up.
Well, even if it didn't come with miso soup.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was going to make a joke, but it didn't make sense. Never mind. I'm not going to make the joke. I'm not going to make the joke. It should make sense anyway. I was going to say me so happy, but like you have to say that, not me, because you're the one who won.
Me so happy.
Yeah, there you go. Me so happy. Yeah, this is exciting. This is great for Robinhood. This is so good.
Yeah, dude.
$1,300 yesterday. People got 1,600. Oh wait, so yeah, today more people won than yesterday.
Jason was bearish on this Tuesday.
What do you think about the Robinhood Gold event? Tanner has a theory that they're going to do custodial products and make that more like prevalent. I think they're going to do AI, LLM, financial research stuff for Gold members. And that, you pay $5 a month and you have this like unlimited AI research product. But other than that, I don't know.
Why do you think this giveaway is in Bitcoin and crypto? What are they trying to do instead of cash or stocks?
Well, a couple things. Number one, there's probably less regulations in regards to crypto and giving that away. Number two, once they get you to own Bitcoin on the platform, they get to notify you when Bitcoin goes up or down. So they get to get you the push notifications, and that keeps you engaged, right? Like this is the way they think about this shit. And then third of all, it technically increases their assets under custody, because if you don't sell
if
you don't sell the $1,300 of Bitcoin, that's
oh my God, dude. It's not just about, so this is metrics on all levels. They should be doing this every week, man. This is crazy. Well, they can't do it every week.
Yeah, I think like once
lose its luster.
Yeah, once a month I think they could do it, or once every couple months, but it's exciting. It's and they're only going to get better and better and better as you.
What if they gave away a $10 million giveaway?
Yeah, I mean, they might one day. Bsoft says, don't forget, since the money has to stay on the platform, this is also free money that increases. That's correct. So yeah, you can sell the 1,300 in Bitcoin. You just can't take it off the platform unless you have at least 1,300 on the platform. So that's another stipulation to it.
It's smart, dude.
Very, very smart. Very smart.
Could you even like in a million years, could you even imagine if Schwab even like they can't even like digest what's going on right now?
Schwab's cooked, bro. They're cooked.
Dude.
That's just obvious at this point. Like, I mean, they're not going to go bankrupt or anything like that. But in terms of like real growth that the market's going to put a premium on, it's not Schwab or Fidelity. Like,
for sure.
So,
well, Josh Brown's over there trying to pump his, what is it, CBOE?
Oh, he's long CBOE. I think
so. Or ICE, maybe ICE.
Okay, so I'll ask you one more question, then I'll let you go because I know you're eating. But just general thoughts on this market right now. Are you feeling bearish, bullish? What are you thinking?
So I'm neutral here. I think, like I said, I think that if you're going to take your shot, it is here. Do you have to take it today or yesterday or the day before or tomorrow? I don't know. Tomorrow is the biggest day. It's not about tomorrow. Tomorrow we get non-farm payrolls. Then we have J-Pal speak. But it's going to be, so from here, it's going to be after Friday. So whatever happens tomorrow, don't believe what you see is what I'm trying to say. It could be all for show. But it's about what happens after tomorrow. So how does next week digest tomorrow's move, whatever that is? Tomorrow can be like a horrendously red day, and we could spend the following week like recovering all of that day, or it could be an incredibly green day tomorrow, and we could spend the following week just selling it all off. What are you doing? Oh, those are the next giveaways?
Yeah, I'm just showing the mystery box, the giveaways, all that stuff. But so I agree with you. I think no, it's going to be revealed in a couple hours, in 16 hours.
We have a special month. Oh, so they're doing drop 1, 2, 3, and 4.
They're doing 4 drops in the next month. I don't even know what a mystery drop means, but it's something.
Dude, this is so crypto centric. Is it like an airdrop? This is before your time. You even know what an airdrop is?
I know what an airdrop is. I know what an airdrop is.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be akin to an airdrop, but it's something.
Airdrops were lame, but it was all about the forks back in the day. If anybody's OG, you didn't have Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin, what is it, SB, whatever, secure, and they fork, and all of a sudden you just like, what is this coin that I have that's worth like all this money? And you're like, what?
Yeah, I also think right here that, so going back to the markets, I think that Robinhood's holding up pretty well given the volatility of the markets, even at this 44-45 range.
Yeah, and today when it was hovering at 45, it could have, but that's what I was saying. Like today, if we didn't have all these catalysts coming, it was a day where the bears were in control, but they could have gone for the throat punch, but they didn't. Like they tried. You could have seen, you saw it. They were really trying, really trying. But
JP Morgan says retail bought about 3.5 billion of this recent dip. Another chart that I don't know if you saw this other chart. You're retail. You also bought the dip.
I know, but that's not enough. 3.5.
That's true. We need a lot more.
A lot more.
This is another chart. I don't know if you saw, but yesterday had the 3rd highest put volume in history for the S&P 500.
Yeah, we did a training last night. Do you know what the COT report is? Commitment of Traders that comes out weekly?
No, never seen that.
You can see like the dealer takedown or the dealer positions, net fund positions. But yeah, it's the net longs are slowly coming out of the markets. The dealers, in terms of like market makers and stuff, are still negative, but it's coming back up. They're getting to cover. So right now, what I am seeing for sure is that we're seeing some short covering, which is why we're getting so like choppy throughout the day in the day. But we're still not seeing like a lot of net new flows coming in. We're seeing some shorts cover, and that's how you get this like wicked like whap, and then it just boom comes back down because nobody's buying into it. So it might be like a U recovery is kind of what it looks like instead of a V recovery.
Yes,
I think that's okay.
I think that's more than okay.
Yeah, because that gives new money time to decide. Like I know there's a lot of uncertainty, but it would give a U recovery visibly is really like new money coming in, right? Versus just a V recovery is just straight up shorts covering so fast and maybe new money comes in, but not usually. It's not crazy. Like it's not a lot.
Well, I'll be live tomorrow to see if Hood gets in. I mean, if these are the top 3 rumored candidates, maybe there's a better shot than I'm thinking. I still think we don't get in, but who knows? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. All right. Good shit, Jason.
Yeah.
Enjoy the 1300, bro. That's
Is it here yet?
It'll probably take like a day. That's what they did on New Year's Eve. It takes a second.
This is sus, dude.
I know you'll get it. Vlad's good for it. Vlad's good for it.
Wait. No. I don't even know what it was.
I don't have my Doge either. Yeah, it takes either a day
You
or
don't have
a
your
while.
Doge?
No, I don't have it yet. Last time I think it was $8 of Doge or $8 of Bitcoin. One of those. This time it's $2. So hold on, $2 times 400,000 people. That's another $800,000 they gave away.
Oh,
in Doge.
Really?
So they gave away basically $3 million. That, you know what that tells me more than anything? They're really confident about Q1. Because like if you're penny pinching to hit your margins, you can't give away $3 million. Right? So we're going to get February metrics on March 11th. It seems like they're going to be not bad based on what they're doing here. Also, I mean, again, if they get a crap ton of gold members because of this, that more than pays for the $3 million because that's a one-time fee, but the gold members are worth $45 a year. So the ROI
45 a year? Is that it?
I think if you pick the annual plan, it's 45, but if you pay monthly, it's 60. So within that range.
A year?
Yeah, 45 a year. But if you play monthly, it's like $5 a month.
I feel like that should be a lot more, but whatever.
Dude, I would pay like $15 a month for gold. So the fact
I
that
thought it was $40 a month.
No,
it's in my head.
It is cheap. Oh, it's 50 a year. Never mind. It's 50. It's cheap, bro. It's freaking cheap. It's nothing.
50 a year.
And you get 4% APY. Like you get like that, which is better than every other.
Yeah, they could do a subscription similar for crypto that they do for whatever, like give you better spreads because there's. I mean.
Oh, did you hold on? You didn't see this. I don't think you saw this. I saw this last night.
No.
They are now doing.
Dude, I don't want to buy anymore right now. I'm like way over my skis, like to the point where like I don't like to hedge. By the way, I am short some calls, but they're stupid calls. They're like January 2026 $100 calls.
They are doing smart exchange routing now.
Oh, I think I saw this. Yeah. You have to toggle that?
You have to toggle it, and that means they're taking a 0.63% fee.
How do you toggle it?
They're taking a flat 0.6% fee, and they're giving you a better spread. So I mean, I'll show you guys right now. I'll do it live right now. Okay.
Why would they? They should charge.
So let me show you guys. So if I'm buying $1 of Bitcoin right now with the 0.63% fee, my price is going to come out to $89,855. Okay. Bitcoin right now is at $89,888. So I just got a $300 decrease in the amount I paid for my Bitcoin on the spread. Now I'm going to do it without smart exchange routing. Okay. We're going to buy $1 Bitcoin, and my price on Bitcoin ended up being $90,467, which is $500 above the current spot price of Bitcoin. So if you pay a little bit more on the spread fee with smart exchange routing, you're going to get a way better spread. So for everyone who's saying Robinhood has shitty spreads, now you can pay a little bit more, 0.63 versus 0.6, and you're going to get a much better spread because they're going to route your order to a better market maker that hooks you up with a better price for Bitcoin, which might actually materially increase the trading volumes on Bitcoin just because people finally are getting better spreads on Bitcoin as well.
Okay. I'm going to ask it one more time. How do you turn that on?
You go to buy on Bitcoin.
Oh.
And then you click on market order at the top.
Uh-huh.
And then you should see smart exchange routing. Right there. If you don't see it, you have to update the app. You don't see that?
I just updated it. Dude, I almost thought I got kicked from the thing today because like I was looking at it and I was like, I should update it really quick. It's not showing it to me.
You might just have to wait then. It's probably rolling out to everybody. I saw it last night for the first time. So it's probably just rolling out. But like that's a big critique people had about Bitcoin, about Robinhood. It's like they have shitty spreads, but now you can pay a little bit more, just like you do on Coinbase, to get like people pay a lot on Coinbase to get a good spread. You could pay a little bit more on Robinhood, but a significantly less amount than you would on Coinbase and get a decent spread. So that's not too bad. All right, cool. Jason.
Appreciate it, man.
Congrats, brother. We will talk to you
Adios.
on Tuesday.
Sorry for derailing the show, but I won.
No,
I won. All right,
you
guys.
won. See you later. Bye.
Adios.
Guys, I think I want to do this giveaway now on the stream. I want to do it. I'm gonna look into this Cahoots thingy. I want to do this. This was so much fun, bro. This was actually so cool. I think we can do the same thing. We could do 12 or 15 questions. You got to get all of them right, and whoever wins gets $1,000, something like that. It's gonna be really fun, bro. And if it's only 20 people that win, then they each get $50, something like that. But we'll make it something cool. Call Steve. I don't know if Steve's going to be able to pick up. He's been busy all day. Let me see. Whatever. If you guys want to know his thoughts on the market, he thinks it's all stupid. He thinks all of this is stupid right now. He thinks the tariffs are stupid. He's buying Nvidia. It's kind of the same stuff, but let's see if he picks up here. I want to do the giveaway though. I think this is a great idea, bro. No other financial services company is doing this. Yeah, he's not picking up. He's busy. If he calls back, we'll answer, but it looks like he's too busy right now. Yeah, he said he's at work. Okay. Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do this. This is fun. I'm definitely stealing this idea from Robinhood, bro. This is so much fun. It's fun just watching it, right? It's fun just being part of it and seeing how it happens. Broadcom's still pumping though. Whatever they said on the call, dude, 16%. It's back to where it was last week, but still, that's nice. Serve Robotics down 11. Nvidia's up 1. Costco's down 1. Bigbear AI down 12%. HPE down 18%. Gap's up 14. And then Nvidia right here is up 1% off of Broadcom. It's still black screen. Dude, I am so annoyed with this stupid feature that they implemented on StreamYard. I cannot believe it's messing it up every time. Okay, now it's good. It's making you press 3 buttons right before you share your screen. But regardless, this was great. This is great for Hood. This was absolutely great for Hood. And again, I mean, this is what separates the winners from the losers. Who's ready to go above and beyond? Also, who's ready to give back, right? One part of life that I think is just so important is are you giving back as much as you can? And at this point, Robinhood's given away close to $8 million between this and the New Year's Eve stuff, because they gave away 5 million of Bitcoin then, 3 million here. So the more you give back, the more people want to care about you, reward you, follow your journey. And it seems like Robinhood's going to get a lot of new people interested in the product from this stuff. And then when you get $1,300 or $1,600, I mean, you feel like the brand is a cooler brand than not. And it's hard to switch from that brand as well. So I am giving back the gains. Yeah, this is also really nice for everyone who's losing money in the markets right now, to get a free 1,300 or 1,600 yesterday after the volatility we've seen in the past couple of weeks. It's nice to see it. 754 people got $1,326.25 in Bitcoin. This is dope. This is super dope. If Robinhood gets into the S&P tomorrow, that's when it's going to be really fun if they can get in. Yeah, the symbolism, right? Robinhood is giving back to us. The poors. Robinhood stealing from the rich and giving to all of us. That's so cool, dude. This is so cool. Yes, I missed the market cap question. Dude, I freaked out. Again, I feel like I wanted to pick 3 trillion, but let's go back and see how I lost on that question. As soon as I clicked it, I was like, wait a second. No, Nvidia was too good in 2024. But the problem is, what's Nvidia's market cap right now? It's at 2.5. It's at 2.7. So what's been happening over the past couple of weeks made me think, well, it couldn't have been that much bigger in December. Obviously it was. And that's what happened. Okay, let's rewatch that. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I would have got the 1792 question so wrong. So wrong, dude. There's no way I was picking 1792. I was picking 1913 on that.
The stock market.
Here we go.
What was the market cap?
I picked
NVIDIA. Approximately what was NVIDIA's market cap as of the end of 2024? The final day.
Face, dude. As I'm picking it, I think we have 3 seconds left. As I'm picking it, I'm just like, I'm gonna pick the wrong answer. It's like it's like I know I'm gonna pick the wrong answer, but I'm gonna pick the wrong answer right here.
Day of 24, December 31st. What was the market cap?
I picked
NVIDIA.
Oh, look at that. Look at the regret, bro. As soon as I pick it, I knew. But like it was in the heat of the moment. I was like, well, I think, and then I ended up going with 2.
For December 31st. What was the market cap?
I picked
NVIDIA.
Oh, I picked 2. I'm wrong. I picked 2. I'm wrong.
If you found yourself frustrated that ChatGPT was not answering the questions fast enough,
That was a stupid one. I got that one wrong. That was such a stupid. I got that one wrong. I got it wrong. That was a stupid mistake. I picked 2. I know. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad, bro. That was a bad one. You can't switch it. You can't switch it.
That's a whole heck of a lot of zeros. And what, 4 combos?
Oh my God. You could tell as soon as I clicked it, I knew that it was wrong. It was just one of those things where you're like, well, you think it's one thing versus the other. But then I would have got the Palantir one wrong as well, dude. Like I would have picked Palantir. I don't think I would have picked App 11. I don't think I would have picked App 11. Everyone who's saying you can switch it before time runs out, there is no time. By the time you click, you have maybe 4 seconds left. There is no time to switch. I mean, you got to click immediately, and then maybe you have 3 seconds at the end. But if you wait till 5 seconds left and you click, as soon as you realize you're done, you're hit. So it is definitely not easy. S Smacks, thank you for the 20 pounds. My friend's bank CFA recommended him to not buy and wait, predicting S&P will hit 5650, 5500 and bounce from here. A chart was shown of that when it happened, when the first China tariffs were placed. Same pattern happening now. Thoughts on that? I've seen similar charts to 2018 when we first put on the China tariffs. And yes, your friend is correct looking at those charts that theoretically the S&P 500, if it goes back to the levels that it hit in 2018 based on the same chart pattern, yeah, we're going back to 5,500. So, I mean, if you're literally just looking at the charts, yeah, wait for 5,500. If you think there's other elements for creating momentum on the S&P outside of the tariffs, then I don't think you have to wait for 5,500. I think losing 57 is going to be really bad, or at least it's not going to be good to lose that 200-day moving average. Historically, though, last couple times we lost it, we immediately bottomed. Is that bottom all the way down to 555, or is that bottom, a little bit closer, maybe 565? Granted, last time in November 2023, we didn't have the threat of tariffs when we lost the 200-day. So that is a new caveat. But yeah, if you're following the 2018 pattern with tariffs and the S&P, there's a lot more lower to go. I mean, the S&P really took it on the chin that year. Jay Powell also raised rates, which is a nuance. But by 2019, we recovered after he started cutting rates 3 times. So we're going to have to see. Sentiment is really bad right now. Oh, here's another chart. Here's another chart about sentiment that I saw. It's the worst it's been in a while since the global financial crisis. So look at this. Stock market sentiment drops to lower levels than seen during the dot-com bubble and global financial crisis. This is from the AAII survey that we took a look at a couple weeks ago. They did an aggregate amount of fund managers, retail, etc. And from what they're seeing, sentiment is pretty low. So yeah, now granted, that's bullish in my opinion. When everyone hates the market, like that's when you get excited for it. It's just, you guys saw the screen, right? You guys saw the screen? It didn't do the black screen. The problem is the tariffs here are not stopping. Yeah, you guys saw that. Okay. The tariffs are not stopping. The threat of tariffs are not stopping. And so the nuance here is the tariff situation, even though sentiment is so bad, So I guess we're going to see. But markets are still not down a lot year to date, dude. We're still not down a lot. Yeah, everyone's looking at, I don't like looking at drops from all-time highs, because why did we get to those all-time highs? Probably because of some euphoria or some overextension, overvaluation, etc. I look at drops year to date when we're trying to compare what is the actual aggregate average of these stocks. So Robinhood's drop from 65 looks nasty, but then it was up from 32 in January. The S&P looks nasty, the NASDAQ looks nasty, but year to date, it's not that bad. Now, granted, that's actually bearish, because that means it can get a lot worse if it's only down 3 or 4% from all-time highs. But the point I'm trying to make is that because of all the uncertainties, there could be a lot more pain, just given the fact that things are not down as much. But the nuance there is that there could also be a very easy buy the dip right there, because when things get that bad and people are expecting it to get a lot worse, it doesn't get that worse, you know? It tends to rebound from there. We will find out over the coming months. Do we think Hood gets added to the S&P? Again, I don't think they will, but I hope they do. Got a lot of Hood. If they do, that'd be nice. The problem, though, is if, let's say they even get into the S&P, is that pump even going to last, bro? Is anyone going to care? Like, yeah, it would be great, but then what happens if Trump says some more stuff about tariffs and Nvidia falls 5% and then freaking the S&P falls 3 or 4%? Like, that's not, Bitcoin falls 10%. That's not going to be good for Robinhood, no matter if they're in the S&P or not. Like, it really doesn't matter. In a bull market, if they were in the S&P, like Palantir got in last month or last quarter in September, that would be fun. But we're not necessarily in that type of a zone where good news can just compound on itself easily. We got the Robinhood Investor Index. Let's go to that right now. So these are the top 10 holdings on Robinhood as of February. I haven't looked at this yet, so I'm scrolling down for the first time with you guys. The top 10 holdings, unchanged: Meta, Microsoft, Ford, Tesla, Amazon, Palantir, Apple, Nvidia, GameStop, and Disney. Those are the top 10 holdings as of February on Hood, which means if Nvidia, Palantir, Tesla take a hit, Robinhood's assets under custody also takes a hit. So tech getting hit is also not good for Hood, because their AUC, obviously based on their top 10 holdings, gets hit. I don't know why Disney is there. I really don't know why Ford is there. And I just wish GameStop would get off of this list. It's been on the list for 2 years. And every time I see it on the list, I get annoyed that people are still buying GameStop. I don't get the Disney and the Ford part. Like, that's just weird. The rest of them make plenty of sense. Palantir has been on the list for 3 months now, so that's really nice to see Palantir there as well. The rest of them are just basic tech names. But Ford, GameStop, and Disney are annoying to see that there. GameStop are people who kept it after the reckoning. Yeah, but see, this is stupid, because everyone who kept it after the reckoning hates Robinhood. So why is their GameStop still on the platform? Like, this is what makes me, like, the people that got so screwed by Robinhood, they hate Vlad's guts, all this stuff. Why is your money still on Robinhood? Like, you would think you leave immediately, but the app is so good, they stick to Robinhood, bro. That's the conundrum here. Like, the app is so good, they continue to hold even though they hate Hood. I guess we are going to see after that gold event how the market thinks about it as well. They have diamond hands. Yeah, probably. Dude, are there still communities of AMC and GameStop holders? Like, is that still a thing? I know there's a big MicroStrategy. There's a group called Irresponsibly Long, MSTR on X, and they tweet about MicroStrategy all day. Obviously, there's a big Palantir community. There's a growing Robinhood community. There's a very big SoFi community. There's a huge Tesla community. But do, like, the AMC and GameStop people actually go on Reddit and, like, talk about this stock anymore? Do they, like, have chat rooms and live streams about AMC and GameStop? Like, who are the influencers of that space? Because I haven't seen any of that. And Roaring Kitty's gone as well, right? So I feel like that's just not as relevant anymore. I haven't watched Dumb Money yet, but I heard it's a good film. Dumb Money is such a bad movie. Like, objectively, it's a horrible movie. But if you're interested in, like, the stock market, it's probably, like, worth watching, right? If you're interested in Robinhood, GameStop, it's worth watching. But the actors and the storyline and, like, the scenes that I thought they would have included to make it actually exciting, they didn't. Like, it was a really crappy movie, in my opinion. Now, I watched it because I care about Hood and GameStop and all that stuff, and I wanted to see. I actually used it as due diligence because back when I started buying Hood at $8 in 2023, I like started tweeting about them, and I kept getting all these hate comments, and all these people were upset. And I was just like, what are you so mad about, bro? Like, what, like, how did they hurt you? So I watched the movie and I tried figuring out like how people got screwed. And the movie does a decent job explaining how people got screwed. I just felt like it could have been a better movie. Like if you were going to really show the collapse of like retail, they could have done it even in an even better way. But yeah, it doesn't touch Margin Call. It doesn't touch The Big Short. Like so many better stock market movies are out there. Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, like it's not even up there. But it's worth watching if you care about it. Jason says down 97% on AMC. Yeah, dude, that thing got up pretty aggressively back in 2021. It was at freaking $80 at one point. Okay, so I think we're done. We'll watch one last thing right here. We had not Tom Lee. We had Dan Ives on Bloomberg talking about Tesla. We'll take a look at that real quick, and then we will end it out for today.
Of tariffs and what that's going to mean. But I actually believe it's really about demand. I mean, demand is more robust when it comes to chips, AI revolution, NVIDIA than it was 4 months ago.
Does Wedbush model out a 5% China GDP as President Xi talked about? Does that diffuse across the Pacific Rim?
Look, I think ultimately a stronger China, more stimulus is more bullish for Apple. It's more bullish for Tesla in terms of everything we see in China. It's just how important those markets are.
Paul, Apple or Tesla first? You make the call.
I'll go Tesla. Tesla sales fall 76% in Germany amid Musk electioneering. That's the Bloomberg headline. We've seen that in other markets as well. As an analyst who's followed this company from day one and you model out demand, how frustrating is it for you to see some of these sales numbers and you're like, we really don't need to see those kinds of sales numbers? What's he doing?
Look, well, first off, I mean, 70% of it is actually really more refreshes inventory year over year comp. So the numbers sound scary, white knuckle, but the reality is probably about 10 to 15% of what's going on is what I'll call Musk brand deterioration, Doge relate. But no doubt, look, we just continue to view it as the bet for the ages for Musk is on Trump. Deregulatory, autonomous, that continues to be, that's the goal. That's what I think worth $1 trillion.
Have we gotten the market away from making cars? So is it about AI? Is it about autonomous? Is it about robot? Has he been successful in shifting the focus away from making cars?
Look, I think 90% of the value of Tesla going forward is Optimus autonomous rather than actual vehicle.
Really? Wow.
Is there evidence that's a revenue and profit reality for them, or is that technology and innovation?
It's a great question.
Talk.
It's a great look. FSD today, 15% of Teslas in terms of owners have full self-driving. That gets to 50% numbers.
Is there evidence it will get to 50%?
And I believe
I got people, Dan Ives, in New York canceling Ubers that are Teslas. They don't want to drive an Elon Musk's car. There's people putting black on the label. Germany is.
By the way, I am seeing increased data and examples of people who don't like Elon either boycotting Tesla or legitimately like vandalizing Teslas. That's not a joke anymore, guys. That's not a little under the rug type of narrative. That is a legit thing. Like the brand of Tesla is absolutely being affected by what Elon's doing. Obviously, I think FSD and robotics outweighs that long term. But yeah, there are people that are either boycotting or showing how much they hate Tesla. That is a real thing.
Paul mentions Europe rather. It's fallen off a cliff. Do you see a management away from a distracted Musk going, let's fix this, or does it fester?
I think as wild in the near term, I think it's contained. In other words, we're talking, call it low single digit as a contained issue. Look, is it a risk, especially given what we're seeing in terms of some of the worries in Europe and especially in the US? But it all comes down to they are going to own the autonomous.
So that's Dan's response as well. Dan is acknowledging right here that it's a risk. He's not saying that it's not a risk. He's acknowledging, yeah, like the brand's getting hit, but he's saying that autonomy outweighs, which is, I mean, look, if you're analyzing Tesla, that has to be the thesis, right? But it is a risk right now.
Race in the US and I believe ultimately globally. And for Musk, when you view even some of the brand worries and deteriorations, I view it almost as near-term noise relative to the longer-term sort of value in the story.
How about just in terms of time spent? Part of the bullish case for Tesla over the years was it's a bet on Elon Musk, and that is a great bet to make. I don't know what the number is, but it feels like 50, 60, 70, 80% of his time and effort is down in Washington. So does that in and of itself take away from the Tesla story?
Look, perception's reality, right? So I think that is also playing into what's happening in the stock, because the view is like he's not dialed in Tesla, he just focused in DC. But I do believe that that's not true. I do believe he's
okay. I got 400 back to 273. I got a trading range off COVID that's banded between 200 and 300 to be polite. Do you have is there a Dan Ives price where you pull the cord?
I mean, this thing at these levels, and it gets into the mid 200s,
right?
I believe it is generational in terms of this type of sell-off, where I ultimately see Tesla over the coming year. I think Tesla's going to be a $2 trillion market cap.
Dan's buying the dip. Dan is buying the dip. Yeah, dude, this whole Elon is hated in Europe and Germany stuff, it's real. I'm getting a lot of messages every day about people expressing what they're seeing personally. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on X. I mean, if you just type in Tesla Germany, you could like see all the different opinions that people have. The average consumer who is somewhat opposed to what Trump's been doing is more aligned with the idea that Elon is supporting a party in Germany, AfD, that is far right. They're not buying a Tesla, dude. They're just not. And we're seeing this in the European sales. Now, is that the long-term thesis? No. But short-term, could that create some really crappy sales numbers? Yeah, it could. It absolutely could. And I think that's the reason why the stock's not recovering right here and why it's been in pain. Now, granted, if they give some updates, some really juicy updates in regards to FSD or robotics, I personally think the stock market will not care about any level of brand damage. They will buy and they will chase this thing because it's Tesla and they know how explosive it can be. But until then, you know, there's probably still going to be some more pain. We also have this news right here that we didn't get to talk about after that Robinhood thing, but it looks like Trump is getting ready to announce an executive order to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve as soon as tomorrow, as per Bloomberg. Trump may announce that the government will stop selling cryptocurrencies it confiscates in criminal cases and use them to establish a national stockpile. Trump could also issue an executive order to create an actual reserve for Bitcoin, one that would be expected to buy more of the digital currency. Another potential proposal would affect the tax treatment of crypto and would likely depend on congressional review and approval, one of the people said. That's the rumor going around, that they are going to get rid of capital gains on crypto, which would be a big deal. If they get rid of capital gains tax on crypto, I think that would be pretty interesting. One idea I have, which I just thought of like 5 seconds ago, is what if they fund the Bitcoin reserve by using the capital gains tax from crypto gains to buy more crypto? Doesn't that make sense? Does that not make sense? Like, so now the taxpayer dollars you're using is from the people who've made money on crypto. It actually makes a lot of sense, right? Is that not crazy? I feel like that makes sense. If I buy Bitcoin at 80,000 and I sell it at 90,000 and I make 10,000 and I have to pay a 20% tax, that 2,000 that I give to Uncle Sam, he uses it to buy Bitcoin in the strategic reserve. I mean, at least it would not be using like your actual like tax that you pay from your W-2, right? Or your 1099. Like at least it's not taking money from working people and funding this crypto reserve thing. It's taking money from crypto capital gains. Now, the question is, how much crypto capital gains tax do we actually bring in the United States? I wouldn't say it's a ton of money. I mean, overall, how much is overall capital gains tax? Capital gains tax revenue 2023. Total amount. How much did we get? Let me ask Grok. Because I think it's only 100 billion. It's not that much. How much did the U.S. collect in capital gains? Let's see. Can the tax be 5%, not 20%? Yeah, maybe they can lower the tax and then justify the lowering of the tax by taking all the revenue and Like, that's the easiest way, in my opinion, you could justify using taxpayer dollars, because you're literally using crypto taxpayer dollars. Okay, Grok says they don't have the exact answer. Yeah, Grok doesn't have the exact answer. Grok is saying it's a percentage of the individual income tax, which was about 2.3 trillion. Grok is estimating 250 billion. That's what Grok is estimating, 200 to 250 billion. So out of that 250, crypto would be, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10%. The majority of it has to be stocks. I don't think that's a crazy idea. It's not horrible. Obviously, it would only be for people in the United States, because if you're in Singapore or Belgium, you don't have to pay capital gains anyway. So, because otherwise, I don't know how they're going to fund it, dude. How are you going to fund it? I don't even care if they announce that. Look, tomorrow, if Trump issues an executive order saying that we will not sell any of the Bitcoin in our stockpile, which I believe is like 225,000, but they don't actually announce how they're going to buy more Bitcoin, it is a nothing burger, and no one will care. No one should care. Like, congrats, you're not going to sell the Bitcoin, okay? But how are you going to add, and how are you going to put a bid on Bitcoin? Because Michael Saylor's not buying for a while. He bought his last 2 billion of it, at least I would say for the next couple months, at 97,000. And he's, one could argue, a bit over leveraged right now, given the stock's down 50%. I don't know if he can easily raise another couple billion. So you need someone to bid. And maybe it's the US government, but I don't think anyone knows how exactly they're going to do it. Short-term gains or ordinary income. Yeah, I mean, they would have to be really creative with this, because ordinary income is like your tax bracket. So if your ordinary income is 30% and you have crypto short-term gains at 30%, yeah, this was not going to be easy, but they're gonna have to figure out some way to navigate this. That's wild, because that means less supply. Yeah, it means less supply of Bitcoin, because Saylor did so much buying, but he bought into people who were selling it at 97,000, selling a lot of it, which is why the coin is now much below 97, because people sold it to him. And so he did not buy that dip. He bought the short-term top on Bitcoin, which reduced the supply, but it doesn't really matter, because it was people that sold it to him that didn't want it at 97,000. And so the question now is, who buys it at 90,000 to get it back to 100? Like, you need a heavy hitter to do this. It's not going to be the ETFs. The ETF volumes has been discussed. Let me show you guys the ETF. The ETFs have been a disaster all year. But look at this. Look at this thing. You thought you saw red on your portfolio today. Look at the past 10 days. Every day, multi-hundred millions of dollars leaving the Bitcoin ETFs. On February 25th, 1.1 billion left in outflows. Yesterday it was 100. Yesterday they added 22 million. The day before they lost 143 million. A couple days ago they lost 275. February 26th they lost 754 million. I mean, the ETFs have been losing assets at a record pace. And so the ETFs are not going to be able to pump up Bitcoin. You're going to need a big buyer to come in, and we're going to have to see who that ends up being. Okay, cool. That's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow on the market open. We will have the daily recap coming out in a couple hours. Episode number 4. Again, thank you everybody who's been showing love on that series. I really, really enjoy making that content, and I'm excited to make it every single day and bring it to you guys. So happy you guys are getting value from it. We have got a lot to talk about in that episode, and we'll go through all the tariff stuff today. We'll go through Broadcom earnings. We'll talk about the delays of tariffs to April 2nd for Mexico. We'll talk about Lutnick's comments this morning. We got a lot of stuff to go through, but yeah, this is the first week of March. We're ending out tomorrow officially. We had money market funds inflows of 50 billion bucks today. So looks like the first week is definitely going to be red in March, as we're down 2% on the day, unless we have a nice recovery tomorrow. But if not, then looks like March is starting out to be as volatile as February. All right, cool. That is it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Also, FYI, Jason won. Yes, I wasn't salty that Jason won. I'm very happy that Jason won. Like, I'm happy when anyone wins. That's not my personality. It's just, if you're saying you won for 30, 40 minutes, right? Like, that's not content, right? Like, we actually have to, like, produce content for you guys, and just bragging that you won is not actual content. So that's why I was trying to get him to at least explain, how he won, but he was too drunk on winning, bro. $1,300 is a lot of money. I would be drunk too. I'd be drunk too off winning 1,300. So yeah, he won 1,300 bucks. 1,300 bucks. So you guys are saying I'm salty right now. See, that's the issue. I wasn't salty. Maybe I'm a little salty. No, but I wasn't salty. I would be salty if I didn't get the Federal Reserve question or or if I knew it was 1792 and if I knew it was AppLovin. Then I would be salty. Then I would be salty. Then I would be like, all right, that was a stupid question to get wrong for NVIDIA. But luckily, there were 2 questions that I didn't know the answer to. But no, in general, dude, like when you're making content, like you gotta, every second you have to be saying something of value. Which is why you come back every single day, right? Because every single second of this stream, I am uttering something of value. That's why you guys come back. So, you gotta spice it up a little bit. But in general, I'm happy you won. I'm happy everyone who participated got at least something. 700 people winning that prize is amazing. This brand energy for Hood is beyond something I've ever seen. The gold event, I'm gonna be there. So I knew the gold event was happening March 26th, but I couldn't say anything. But now officially they announced it. So I'll be there with Tanner and Roy. It's going to be really fun. I think they're going to announce a lot of stuff. They haven't told us any of the stuff they're announcing. That I'm not even lying about that. I'm genuinely like, they haven't told us anything that they're announcing. Even when I got the invite doesn't give you any hints. Whatever they said on my invite is the same exact thing they said on the Robinhood gold invite that they just put out right here. With this thing right here. So I really have no idea what they're going to announce, but they booked out some big ass venue in San Francisco and it looks like they're going to put on a show. Like the last one I went to in New York, that was super fun. I mean, that was right before the Vlad podcast. And that event was that was a great event for their first time doing it. And, yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was an absolutely awesome. For those that never saw this video, hold on, let me show you guys this. Some of you guys are new here. You probably never saw this. This was right after the event. These were my raw thoughts right after the event. All right, guys. So I have a little bit of time before I get my train back to New Jersey. There's no service downstairs, and the train's not in 30 minutes, so I just came back upstairs. Here's New York in all of its glory, Empire State Building. I've been here many times in my life, but coming here today was a different experience in New York City. Yeah, I think the event went really, really well in the context of not just the product announcements, but also the presentation. They gave me this at the end. So this is a custom Robinhood, I guess you could call it tequila or something I don't drink, but this is what we got. So it was not tequila, bro. I said it was tequila. That was whiskey, bro. This is how you know I don't drink. I was like, oh, they gave me some tequila. It's like, this is not fucking tequila, dude. We got some tequila. I'm not going to be drinking it. I'm probably just going to be saving it forever from this event because, again, this event blew away my expectations. I think the big thing for me here is, again, they are focusing on product so obsessively that it makes a lot of other companies, it makes it feel weird why some of those companies aren't as product obsessed, because at the end of the day, I think UI, user experience, is a moat, which means product is a moat. Can a product be copied? Yes, but can a product experience be copied? Not as likely. And when the CEO of Visa got on stage, I mean, Visa handles trillions of dollars of payments every single day. Visa. Sorry, I was muted. I said Robinhood was $19 during this time. It got to 20 during this event. But yeah, it was a much smaller company than now. Is Visa. So the fact that Visa is co-signing Robinhood, obviously this credit card partnership is with Robinhood and Visa, and saying, hey, we believe in your guys' mission to democratize finance, that to me was a sign of, wait a second, Robinhood's coming after the banks, even though they're not a bank. So they don't have to deal with being a bank. They just have to deal with getting the deposits from people that would put it into a bank to put it into Robinhood and using the credit card as you wish, or then depositing the money, getting 1% back, and then buying stocks. Again, the really, really big product announcement to me was not even the credit card, 1% back on every dollar you put in. Why is this so important? Because the 3%, 1% match that got people into Robinhood, a lot of people discovered Robinhood over the past couple months because of that match on your brokerage or your Roth IRA. Now they're doing that for every single dollar you put in. Now they're doing that for every single freaking dollar. And it's like, well, wait a second. I think that's going to be a pretty big deal. And so it was a good show from Robinhood. Now, the irony is they got rid of that 1% match, right? But this is the nature of a tech company. Like, they tried something. They tried to give you 1% on every dollar you put in. It worked for a couple months. They realized they weren't really getting an ROI, and they pivoted. And this is the beautiful thing. Shout out to Flow Sounds, by the way, $1.99. Thank you for the super chat. He also won, which is awesome. $1,300. I love it. Sometimes a tech company has to pivot, right? And if things are not working, you've got to move on. But they're not afraid to try. They're not afraid to freaking try. And so I think that's the beautiful thing about Hood, is just the ability to pursue and keep trying stuff. This was Vlad at that gold event. By the way, I got the invite for this gold event a day before it happened. So this thing was like it was super random. Like, I got a random email from them and they were like, hey, you're invited to this. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, just come by tomorrow. So thankfully I didn't have anything to do on that night. And we were able to go there. So it was super fun. I think they're going to crush it again. I think they're going to introduce a lot of new products, and we'll see what they do in San Francisco. I wish they were doing it in New York, because I am so tired of going back to California, but I think it's going to be cooler in California because their whole company is already in California. So they're probably going to have a lot of employees, a lot of people there. They're probably more well-versed in the area than New York. So that should be fun. That's going to be on March 26th. Next week, I am also traveling again. I can't say exactly where, but you guys will see tomorrow next week for where we're going on Tuesday. So we won't do the market close on Tuesday, but yeah, we will do the market open Wednesday morning. Maybe even have some guests on Wednesday morning. Wait, no, not this one. With Tanner and Roy, there'll be guests on the market open on like the 25th. But on this one, it'll be a little different. You should do a meetup in New York. We already did a meetup in New York. We're probably going to do another one at the end of the year, because we already did one in January. We'll do another one near the end of the year. We're gonna do LA in September. We're gonna do Vegas in October. Yo, for March, I don't know. We still might do Toronto in March. That's still not off the table. I'm trying to figure it out for sure if it's gonna happen. If it does happen, see, I don't think it's gonna happen because I'm traveling next week, and then the 22nd is free, and then I'm traveling the week after. So I think March is just going to be too much, dude. It's going to be too much traveling. I think we're going to double up on the meetups on a different month. In March, we're going to do it, because if we do it in March, it's going to be a mess, bro. There's no way I'm going to be able to accurately plan out everything for March. So yeah, probably we're going to skip it on March. It's just not going to make sense. But April is either going to be Miami or Houston. One of those, I'm thinking. And if not one of those, then maybe we'll do Toronto in April. But I'm leaning Miami, but we got to figure it out. It would be fun. Miami would be fun in April, so we'll see if we do it there. But Houston's definitely happening, and then I think Chicago might be May. Chicago, I don't want to go right now because it's too cold. But Chicago, I think might be May, and that would be a good one. And then again in June, we're looking at Germany, France, and the UK. So. All right, cool. That's it. Dope. I'll be back tomorrow on the market open, and yeah, daily recap will be out later today. Volatile day in the markets. Broadcom's up a little bit. Everything's up a little bit in the after hours. We'll see how it turns out tomorrow in the market open. Palantir is well up a little bit right here, 1.76%. The S&P 500 up 0.36% currently after hours. All right, cool stuff. Bye, everybody. Congrats to everyone who won. We're going to do these giveaways on the channel, bro. I'm convinced. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to start looking into how do we do this. I think once a month. Once a month, I think it would be really fun. So I'm going to look into this Kahoots platform and go deeper. And yeah, I think once a month we'll do it. Maybe by the end of March, we can have our first one, or early April. So we will try doing it and setting up. That was fun, dude. That was fun. And it's stock market stuff. So like, it'll actually be like stuff we care about in terms of the trivia, and it should be pretty cool. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Market Open. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.